Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut, and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, Ko-Fi, and crypto link in the info box below the video.
To Rex's question, yes, standalone, just saying, look, Horizon cut things in half. It can't be any other way than the curvature getting in the way is not sufficient. That would be a straw man.
So refraction is not physical geometric Earth curve, correct?
As I have explained before,
so refraction is not physical. It's not a physical Earth curve, correct? That's what the black swan is actually showing, correct?
One of the examples that we like to talk about is the time capsule.
My mic's on mute. I just want you to answer the question directly, straw man, reasonable fallacy guy.
Right, so
that's all the black
physically
saying. All the black one's saying is, "Hey, look, it's not geometric Earth curve cutting."
Right.
It's a yes or no question. Hang on.
Yeah,
it's a yes or no question, AK. Yes or no question. Answer it.
The question is nonsensical.
It's not nonsensical. It's a direct question. Answer it.
Reg, can you ask her it again? Thanks. Can you ask him again?
So when you say refraction, the black swan is actually identifying that we're not seeing the physical Earth curve, correct? At the R radius. You are claiming.
Okay, I'm not claiming. I'm not making any claim. Why?
It's a yes or no answer. By stating that we're not expecting to see it, your statement is that we do not see a geometric horizon in the black swan, correct?
Yes, that is already logically dictated. That's
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Black Swan shows.
Welcome to Flat Earth. Welcome to Flat Earth, clown shoes. Welcome to Flat Earth.
The argument is over.
So not blocking boats and buildings. Not a physical Earth curve edge blocking boats and buildings marked with an X and labelled horizon in your maths then. Yeah, that means it's not Earth curve. Yeah, welcome to Flat Earth.
The length you guys are willing to go to avoid.
That sounds like an ad hom attack.
Willing to go to. You've forced me to control this conversation with your behaviour. Nathan's made a statement. Directly answer the statement that he's made, or don't bother speaking at all. We don't want to hear anything else.
That's exactly what I was just saying.
Yeah, where are all your boats? Where are all your boats been going all these years?
The boat's not going over the Earth curve then.
How did you guys all get it?
Not a question for me. Not a question for me. I'd just like an answer. Not going over Earth curve then.
Is that a question?
Yeah, it's a statement.
That was a question.
Not going over Earth curve based on what you've said. So no Earth curve then.
That's a non sequitur, unfortunately.
Like, you're a dick.
It's a non sequitur.
You're a dick. You guys claim there's Earth curve blocking boats and buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there isn't, according to what you've just told us. According to what you've just told us, that's not the case.
I'm not claiming that.
Sorry, you're not claiming that. No, Earth curve is claiming that.
In the first place. Stop projecting your position on me that I'm not actually taking.
Sorry, you think...
wow.
Hold on a second. Let me just clarify this with him. You think your marked with an X labelled horizon physical geometric Earth curve edge that blocks boats and buildings in your maths is my position I'm strawmanning you with. No, I don't claim Earth curve blocks boats and buildings. You do. Until you relinquish your own claim, which is what you've done here.
Claim it. I never claimed it.
You don't need to rumpus me. I'm making a statement of fact.
I never claimed that.
Yeah, that means shut up while I talk. You've relinquished your own claim. Yeah, it's not Earth curve blocking boats and buildings then, is it? That's the end of the discussion. Welcome to Flat Earth.
I relinquish a claim that I never made.
It's an Earth curve claim, you stupid clown. It's your Earth curve claim of physical sphere edge obstruction called Earth curve. And when it fails on its arse, you tell me it's not your claim. Yeah, it's the Earth curve claim. It's the Earth being a sphere claim. Don't care what your claim is. Earth is claimed to be a sphere with maths for a sphere edge. The one you just relinquished.
I did not make...
Do you mind not chanting through me? Do you mind? Yeah, it's not about what you claim. It's about Earth being claimed to be a sphere. That's what you've come in to argue, obviously. But you've relinquished your own claim now. Now you're like, well, it's not my claim. I'm not claiming what? Tell us that you're not claiming boats and buildings are blocked by Earth curve. Just tell us that. If it's not your claim, make it explicitly clear to my audience that you personally are not claiming Earth curve blocks boats and buildings. You've already done that. Welcome to Flat Earth was the response. We're done with you. You think you've got an opportunity to argue by telling us, well, it wasn't my claim. No, it's an Earth curve claim that you completely destroyed. Well done. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Nathan, I just Googled real quick proof that Earth is not flat and a sphere. And one of the first things that come up is boats going over the horizon.
Yeah,
So
this clown shoes didn't realise that he was relinquishing his own stupid claim of Earth curve. And when he did, he told us it wasn't his claim.
Multiple times. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Drinks on the back, DJ is taking requests.
Oh, is this the part he say Earth is so big that we cannot see Earth curve? Is this the part where you're going to say that?
Nah, it's marked with the next labelled horizon in their maths. It's supposed to be Earth curve blocking boats and buildings. It's what they've told us for 10 years.
They'll only say that when we're talking about celestial navigation. That's when they say Earth is so big that they can get an elevation angle off a curved surface because it's so big.
Let me tell you something, AK guy.
So why are you still on the fence, AK?
Just tell him how it is.
Not...
Who
I'm
cares?
trying to explain that, but I keep getting muted, and you guys don't want to hear it. So
Because you're hot
I'm gonna
micing.
shut up.
After you finish talking, you don't go on mute locally. So everybody else has had to take control of you because you're hot micing through everything. Well done. Kudos, you found the mute button. Yeah, as I just said, it doesn't really matter what you think. Earth is measured flat. That's how it's dealt with. To get your radius value that you were talking about when I joined this conversation requires a flat Earth measurement off a plane to Polaris. So for you to infer a radius, to give you a physical geometric sphere edge that you've just relinquished, welcome to Flat Earth, requires a flat plane to measure.
It requires the horizon to be used as orientation, horizontal, in order to do that measurement.
As for why a fundamentalist religious zealot remains on the fence after they've been shown to be wrong and with their own words relinquish their own religious belief, do I care that he's a zealot? Do I care that he's going to chant straight through the middle of me pointing that out? No, I don't care what he thinks. I couldn't care less if the guy died tomorrow. Literally, I couldn't give a crap.
Likewise.
Well, I don't know, AK. I did your check-in today and you swore black and blue that you're on the fence. And from what I've seen tonight, you're definitely not on the fence.
How so?
Did you not listen to a single word I just said?
Oh, you're
You've
defending the
relinquished
globe.
Earth curve. You've relinquished it. That's your claim. That's the Earth as a sphere. That's supposed to be. Did you not listen to Neil? You relinquished it. I'm not claiming that. Then Neil said, I've just done a quick Google search for how you prove Earth's a sphere, and they claim Earth curve blocks boats and buildings. That's what you got.
Yeah,
you didn't respond to it. You're now chanting through me pointing it out. That's the bit you relinquished.
I'm not chanting.
Well, do you want to reply to what I just said? I just told you that the R value. I just told you that the R value used to make the claim of a sphere edge horizon that you also used in refraction came from a flat Earth measurement. You didn't respond to that.
No, radius is not inherent to refraction. It's incorrect.
Sorry, show me how you measure radius then.
Not with the distance to the horizon. I don't measure the radius because I don't.
You don't do anything. You're just a stupid numpty. You don't do anything because you're an idiot. You don't even know your own globe belief claim. You've relinquished it and then told me it's not your claim. Then Neil had to go and show you that is the globe claim. And now you're chanting through me again, chanting again, yet again. You're chanting through the top of me. Scumbag. Scumbag religious zealot. He doesn't like what he's hearing. I told you that Earth is measured flat to get radius. And nuh-uh isn't gonna cut it. If you're gonna challenge that, I can show you how it is measured flat to get your sphere Earth radius off a flat plane. So, given that I can do that if challenged, and you're saying nuh-uh, now you can give me Earth radius measurement. You used it for your refraction and your sphere Earth that you relinquished when you said it wasn't Earth curve anymore. So where do you get your radius for your claim Earth's a sphere? Go.
I'm not making the claim that the Earth is a sphere. I'm not.
Then get lost. Just get lost. If you're just here to be a dick and argue with us when you're not even making a claim, then you're a wanker. Get lost, wanker. Go away. You're wasting our time, wanker. Get lost.
Right, so I'm only.
Go away and masturbate on your own. You're not going to do it in front of me. Now get lost. Kick him out. The guy's a wanker. I don't want to deal with him anymore. If you're not making a claim, why the bloody hell are you in a flat Earth debate? Stupid man. What he means by that is, I was making a claim, it failed on its arse. That's what he actually means. I'm on the fence. That means I can sit and take in both sides. Oh, really? What, both sides of the claim? Yeah, he is. But now it's failed on its arse. Now it's not a claim. I'm not claiming anything. Yeah, you were.
His original claim was that the black swan was a straw man due to the fact that we can never measure a geometric horizon.
So we can never measure Earth curve? Yeah.
Therefore,
It's only been 4 years.
Black swan's a straw man.
If you
Does
can't
anybody-
measure it, it doesn't physically exist.
In the black swan, does anybody claim to measure the distance to the horizon?
He's
No.
claiming the 1.22 miles, the geometric distance, is a
Yeah, but we
straw
don't
man
measure
due to the
it.
fact that we never see it.
So you're saying that the 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet is a straw man? That's Earth curve maths.
Correct, but he says it's a straw man because we never see it. We only see where it apparently the sky meets the Earth. So
So-
that
so
makes a
Neil-
straw man by claiming.
So Neil, when you looked up what proves Earth curve and not flat, or what proves Earth's a sphere, they say Earth curve proves it with the way it blocks boats and buildings and stuff. No, mate, that's just a straw man, according to people who actually peddle the globe. 1.2
Well, he
times the
actually
square of the
claimed that
observer's
would
height
be
in
a
feet, you
straw
say?
man
What a
as
straw
well.
man. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, he actually claimed that a glober that claimed that the geometric horizon is cutting boats in half would also be a straw man. So I think he's really confused.
Right, so when you see bottom-up obstruction, according to them, because of Earth curve, it's not because of Earth curve. We never get to see Earth curve. 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet for the distance to Earth curve is a straw man. Yeah, we got that. That guy's a knob.
Right. This is a what is conversation. If you don't have a measurement to discuss, you don't have a stake in this race.
Yeah, they say they see the effects of Earth curve, but you're not going to actually see it. But you'll see the effects of it.
Is that what it said when you Googled it? It didn't say boats and buildings. It said, you'll see the effects of Earth curve, but it isn't really Earth curve when we say boats and buildings are blocked by it. It's not really it's just kind of a straw man that we say, really, you're not really No, they don't say any of that shit at all. They say, boats and buildings are blocked by physical geometric Earth curve. Here's the maths for it. It's at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. It's marked with an X and labelled horizon. In their maths for Earth curve. What's that? When we show it's wrong, it's a straw man? No, it's just your Earth curve maths that's wrong.
Well, in all fairness, the Earth is not curving in those mathematics.
No, it's only representing what your
Surface
vision
level
does.
is level.
It represents what your vision does with respect to eye level and surface level, which is flat. That's what the maths actually does. That's correct.
Yeah, they can't have that math. I'm taking that back.
Yeah, it's an optical resolution loss maths. That's all it is.
So we could safely say that Earth curve does not exist.
They're telling us, Neil.
According to AK.
Yeah, they're telling us that, and have been for 4 years. They're too dumb to realise their own relinquishment of their own claim. They tell us it's our straw man when their claim fails. Idiots.
Yeah, the only reason there was ever the appearance of a debate is they thought they were measuring Earth curve as opposed to the flat plane they were measuring, so that it was a debatable topic. They're throwing out the debate, and they don't even realize it.
They come and they lie, don't they? Bacon came yesterday and lied about measuring azimuth, and today this AK guy came and lied about his claim of a physical geometric spherage. Apparently it's our claim, and it's our claim that's a straw man. Like, this is what you've got to behave like to be a ball-believing idiot these days. Tell your opponent that their claim of Earth curve is a straw man. My flat Earth claim of Earth curve is a straw man, you say? No, you stupid idiot. Definitely not. I don't claim Earth curve.
But they that we have an edge, but in essence, they have an edge, and now they're denying that edge.
Yeah, they had an edge, formerly known as Earth curve. Now it's refraction based on an R value measured from a flat Earth.
Oh dear. Flat Earth strikes again.
Why haven't we got 10,000 people watching the show? What's going on?
I don't know. There should be millions.
Yeah, it's because the controlled narrative favours anti-flat earthers. Dave McKeegan will put out a video and he'll get 60,000 views in 5 hours.
That's not right.
Everybody searching for this subject gets immediately directed to him, don't they? With his shitty arguments and his stutter and his speech impediment. That's where they shuffle people to a complete moron who can't even speak properly.
Right. So if you come to this subject and you see that the village idiot's easily debunking the claims of these flat earthers, you just kind of turn off and walk away. Like, oh, they didn't have a point to make. Well, that idiot's debunking them, you know?
Yeah. They got Simple Simon and Dave Stuttery McKeegan. So these stuttering idiots are your proof Earth is not flat. If they can do it, you can do it. That's your point, right?
Right. So anybody that tries to look into it, you know, all they're going to hear is what they claim we're claiming. You know, that's all they ever get.
But that's not what Simon Dan does. He goes after the low-hanging fruit. I went into one of his shorts videos because I was watching the shorts, flicking them through, and then suddenly a Simon Dan appears. You're like, oh, right, okay, what's Simon Dan got to say about, and who's he talking about? A guy who's talking about the moon and it having comets hit it. He's like, well, they're actually meteors, mate. You're like, oh, right, Dan, you're really going for the low-hanging fruit, aren't you? Earth's measured flat, son. But you're going after this numpty.
Yeah, but that's the whole point in doing it that way, and put him at the top of the algorithm. That way, it seems like that's what flat earthers believe. You never deal with what's actually being discussed.
Or he'll debate Dave Weiss. He'll even go after Whitsitt because he knows eventually Whitsitt will start talking about ether and everything else will be irrelevant.
No, Dan debated me on Twitter and then denied having ever debated anybody ever and said he doesn't debate after losing to me on Twitter. Then he, goes after low-hanging fruit from there on after. He's not addressing any of our arguments. He's not addressing the fact that Earth's measured flat for his globe faith. Maybe we should point this out to him. I'll start the live show. Simon Dan, an address to you, my friend. Please let this guy know. Simon Dan, Nathan Oakley, 1980, sent him to answer a simple question. Why is Earth measured flat for your sphere belief?
That is a pretty good question.
I'd like to know. And I want Simon Dan, the abject coward, to answer it. The liar. The one who lied about debating people. No, Dan, you do debate people. You debated me on Twitter, didn't you? You lost immediately. as soon as you sent the message to me, proactively, to a flat earth, that's me, to debate about Coriolis. You lost immediately. You relinquished your own stupid claim the moment you pressed send. You and your reference frames are ruined. That sounds like a debate to me. Yeah, it is. It's Dan losing. It's him having his ass handed to you without me even having to read it. That's how stupid he is. But is he going to be dealing with Earth measured flat for a ball belief? Well, we're going to insist on him dealing with it. So you can't hide behind, I don't debate, Dan, can you, you lying scum? Because you do, via Twitter, with me, and you lose. So given that you do debate, and have debated me, on Twitter where you lost, I'd like you to give us a response to why your globe faith requires a flat earth measurement. I'd like to know. Were you aware? Probably not.
Well, would it be better to say in all instances, every claim that you can make about Earth being a sphere requires the Earth to be a flat plane of reference?
Yes, because it's factually accurate. Which is more valuable information? Us pointing out the actual origins of the radial value for a sphere Earth belief. That's legitimately how Earth has been measured. Regardless of whether or not you want to take that measurement and turn it into a sphere, which we can show you how that is done. We can show you how the Havasine works, we can show you how the conversions from flat and the equatorial plane end up on a flat map called the Mercator projection. We can show you all of that. This is all good information. What's Dan getting his 120,000 views with? This guy says comets hit the moon. Oh, that's really worthy data, Dan. I can see why YouTube promote you, stupid idiot. You're just the dumbing down of society, Dan. That's what you represent. You're a clown. But you're held up to dumb down society. Meanwhile, the people with actual information of the historic legitimacy of a sphere Earth, that's a flat Earth measurement, we're suppressed. A frickin' outrage.
Yeah, you would think with the information that we're actually giving out, the celestial navigation pages should have to get the tramp stamp of flat earther. But for some reason, they don't.
Yeah, we can point out all day long that celestial navigation is a process that's been utilised for mapping, on mapping, and for finding your way home if you're lost, and it all requires a flat plane. They can say it, we can't. Well, we can, but it just won't reach anybody, will we?
Right, which seems like a discrimination
It is.
at best.
It is. That's absolutely what it is. We're being discriminated against. Why? Well, because we understand how Earth's measured. For it to be a ball. Why aren't we being shoved to the front so that people who think they're on a ball know how their ball's measured? That would be flat. Because that might ruin the illusion. So therefore, well, we are lying to all these people. So, you know, you telling them the truth isn't really conducive with us lying to them. So we'll just suppress you. And we'll promote Dan, asking about whether it's meteors or comets that hit the moon. Because that's worthwhile information from a complete bonehead. My man Dan, slowly lowering the IQ of everybody who watches him, including me in this particular instance.
Every time I hear him try to make a claim or debunk a claim, I hear that guy from Billy Madison saying, nothing you have said represents a rational or complete thought. And everyone in this room is now dumber for having heard what you said. I award you no points. May God have mercy on your soul.
Absolutely. I don't know, I'm still really ill. So hence me bleating about how done by I am. Because I'm feeling poorly. That's the other thing. I know you guys obviously realise I've got a daily show, and obviously that's something that I want to consistently keep going, hence I'm here. but I am actually ill. But I cannot stop. I have to do this show today. I have no choice. Doesn't matter if I'm ill. If I'm on death's door, I've got to do the show.
That's why we love you, Nathan.
Yeah, but by the same token, when I'm physically sick, surely, while I've got sweat pouring off me, and what I did after yesterday's show was go to bed, literally as soon as the show finished. And then I got up for this show. That's what the last 24 hours have been for me. I went to bed, got up in the middle of the night to have a smoothie that my wife bought, got up in the morning about 7 to drink a can of Lucasade, but in between I've just slept. I haven't done anything because I'm severely ill. But why? Well, as I said to you yesterday, I've still got my mortgage to pay. And because YouTube have cobbled my ad revenue, every video that only lasts about a day and a half gets cobbled by YouTube. So I have to manually appeal it, and then a day and a half, 2 days later, they'll approve it for monetization. That's every single video I've produced in the last year, without exception. Now, none of them have actually been demonetized. They're just demonetized for the first day that they're actually worth anything to me. So therefore, I've got to sit in this chair, basically to hope that I get a super chat during the show. And it's pathetic. My worries about the finances of my general life shouldn't be the thing that dictates this show. You know, I want to get better so that I can be 100% on point for the shows next week. But instead, it's like, no. If I don't do a couple of shows this week, I won't be able to pay my mortgage. Now, Dan's got no problem paying his mortgage, pointing out that some idiot flat earther says it's comets that hit the moon. 50,000 views later, Dan's made a mint, hasn't he? From talking shit. Me, I've got to do my work sick, whether I want to or not.
Did everybody hear that? Nathan pays a mortgage, not a rent. Get it through your head.
Yeah, that's the main point here. What?
Oh, because somebody passed their remark that you're bleeding your freaking Patreons and people that follow you when you're just renting and it's not your responsibility to fix the electric. So I just want people to understand that's not the case. It's a mortgage.
Okay. I think you covered it yesterday, actually. I didn't know that was happening, but I don't really care. If people want to view
it
me...
came up again.
Well, ballers want to view me as dishonest, don't they? I don't care. It's water for duck's back by now, Neil. I couldn't care less. What's that? You say I'm dishonest? Bleeding my members dry? Oh, right. How interesting. Did you know Earth's measured flat?
Yeah, but it's coming from the flat side. I don't care about the ballers. It's coming from the flat side.
The flat side? Who's the flat side?
Coming from supposedly our own.
Okay, whatever. I'm very grateful.
That's how you know you.
Go on, John.
That's how you know you're over the. That's how you know you're over the target, isn't it? When both sides are after you.
Yeah.
Seems that way.
The guy today relinquishes his own claim after claiming he's on the fence. Therefore, obviously, he appreciates that there is two sides of the argument, and the standard default position for the Western world is globe. Therefore, he understands that there is a globe claim, especially in a show called Flat Earth Debate on a server called Flat Earth Debate. What's that? Now your claim's failed, you're not making the claim. No, your globe claim just failed on its arse. So you're going to deny the premise of your own claim, which is what he essentially did when he relinquished Earth curve in the first instance, with the 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet mathematics of Earth curve being a claimed straw man. These people are pathetic. It annoyed me more with Bacon yesterday. Outright lying about how Earth's measured. No, it's just a calculation. Liar.
I like that when he tried to take you to the tool of measuring this, you took him right away from that. So I'm not going to deal with this. You lied.
They all do. You've got to lie to be a globe believer. Like Dan. Oh, I've never debated anybody, really. What's you and your reference frames ruined? It's not you entering into a debate you just lost, you lying scum. But you'll lie to your audience about how you will not entertain flat earthers other than on Twitter where you lose to me. Just a liar. Just an outright liar, Dan. You should be horsewhipped for it. That's a bit extreme, actually.
Maybe not.
Yeah, you're right. Public flogging for lying about the nature of our reality.
Yeah, I can see that. You might be lying to yourself, but your lie is affecting other people. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe public flogging isn't so bad.
What? There must be somebody behind the scenes, because it can't be algorithmic. I mean, it is, but somebody has to actually put that into the algorithm, don't they? A person has to say, well, we're just going to switch all of these people off that deal with the nature of Earth, who call themselves flat Earth, and we'll just put a line through all of them rather than under them. And then we'll put a nice big check mark next to Simon Dan, because he's very, useful. He's lying about Earth and telling everybody that flat earthers are idiots by picking out the lowest hanging fruit possible. So we'll promote the living hell out of this scumbag. That's what somebody at YouTube has had to do.
Well, yeah, because algorithms are designed by intelligent beings. That's the only way they're created.
Yeah. So somebody sat down and went, right, let's censor out the flat earthers and promote the anti-flat earthers.
Yeah. Well, they admitted to that in Congress.
Are they intelligent?
Say again, Neil?
He said it takes intelligent beings. I said, are they really intelligent?
Yeah, he's talking about programmers.
Algorithm,
yeah, people who program. That's what he's talking about, Neil.
Yes, I know.
Well, that's good then.
I mean, how intelligent are you if the truth is staring you right in the face and you're still leaning on a belief system? They're all part of it, are they not? Shutting down flat Earth?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to blame Congress for that, you can. Like, why have you told YouTube to shut down flat earthers? Have you looked into the subject? Have you established that this is true? No, it doesn't matter. The Western world believe we're on a sphere. They say otherwise. So shut them down. That's the attitude. Right or wrong doesn't come into it.
In the Proverbs, it say, if you do not hear both sides of a matter, you're not considered wise. So they just shut it down without even looking into it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Dan is there to dumb down the people. That's his job. He doesn't know it. He just thinks he's doing really well. I've just made really good material in my echoey room that you can't hear two words in. He thinks he's doing really well. No, you're just propping up the lie, Dan. That's why you're promoted. You're dumbing down society. You think that the other side of this flat Earth argument isn't that Earth's measured flat for your globe? It's comets hit the moon, says Flat Earther. That's what Dan thinks the other side of this argument is. Well, no, it just gets him 100,000 views. And a nice wedge of cash. So he keeps doing that. Well, just keep going for the low-hanging fruit. Why do I need to do anything else? I don't need to address any of these difficult questions, like Earth turn. My bad. He debated me on that on Twitter, didn't he? Now he just goes for the low-hanging fruit because without even trying, I annihilated his argument before replying to it. Because he undid his own claim when dealing with a real flat earther. Because he's got to suddenly address complex arguments. Yeah, well, that didn't work out very well for Dan, did it? Now he just lies about debating.
Well, he made a video, didn't he? Wasn't he that made the video with the guy in a trampoline?
He didn't make the video. He just sent it to me via Twitter and then did at least 2 response videos off the back of his failed tweet. They had to disclaim to the audience. I mean, he didn't have to. I've got a tiny audience by comparison to him. He could have just ignored it. But pride got in the way, didn't it, Dan? So you had to tell your audience, Nathan's just a Simon Dan fan. That was your rebuttal, Dan. Pathetic. You're a moron, Dan. There's no 2 ways about it.
That's sad.
I can guarantee you that Simon Dan is not designing an algorithm for YouTube.
Oh, no, definitely not. That's not what I meant. What made you say that?
Well, I heard wisdom and intelligence used together, like synonymously. They're not. And like someone who is wise in the way
Well, hold
programming does not necessarily understand the topic that they're being told to censor in the program.
Right.
Hold on. It also says, if you don't hear 2 sides of a matter, you're a fool.
Yeah, but if you can give the impression that both sides are being heard, dumb flat earthers say stuff hits moon. I say he's used terminology wrong, therefore you get to hear both sides of argument. Oh yeah, as a viewer, I now feel fulfilled, like I've heard both sides of the argument. From Dan.
Yeah, the programmer doesn't care about the argument. He's being told to censor a certain group or force them to the back of the algorithm. He's not interested in an argument.
No. Numpty flat earthers probably still get promoted. So if you're making that stupid claims about comets hitting the moon or whatever they're saying, then that will still get promoted probably. So Simon Dan can find it. But no, we get censored, we get shoved to the bottom of the list, so, we aren't a prevalent argument that Dan needs to address, because who's watching us? You're all warmed up now in Discord. Thanks to AK Guy.
That's 2 days in a row. You got your blood pumping pretty early, right, Nathan?
Yeah, I think the AK
No,
guy.
he's going nuts in the chat.
Nuts in the chat.
In the Discord chat. He's in the Discord chat going, carrying on. I just gave him a citation on refraction and the 5 effects and showed that you can't have a horizon looming above a horizon, and he's now arguing that point and arguing the citation.
What's his own globe earth citation for the 5 effects of looming, stooping? What are the other 3?
Yeah, he says that it's stupid that I've stated that a horizon can't loom above a horizon, because looming is when something appears above the horizon. So by claiming that the horizon is looming, he's stating that the horizon is looming above the horizon, not an effect that we see in refraction.
Yeah, we only have one horizon, and the horizon in there begging the question, proof of nothing perspective hijacking Earth curve maths at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet that he said was a straw man. Yeah.
Well, the atmospheric conditions they're appealing to were all those studies were done over a flat plane. They're not allowed to appeal to those.
We're talking about that master. He's an old timer. He disappeared for a while. He's coming back now.
And he's totally on the fence.
Oh, there we go. Excellent connection.
I'm going to go change his role.
That'll annoy him.
So Admasto's back?
That was.
Oh my
Yeah, that's
goodness. I knew the voice was familiar.
Yeah, you can't appeal to refraction studies done over a flat plane to say that those effects, which were studied over a flat plane, couldn't happen on a flat plane.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. So I'm a little bit under the weather again. Therefore, I've lost my temper with several people who aren't even here, and one that was in the pre-show. So if you remember, check that out after the fact. I probably said a few things that I would probably regret if I was a bit less ill, but there we go. That's life, isn't it? Let's do a bit of housekeeping. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Over there. Well, it's not. Too many clouds, but
Well, if you're going to claim a distance, you're gonna use an elevation angle, which requires a horizontal plane of reference. It requires a flat plane to try to describe that distance.
That's a good point. When they infer a measurement of an angle, a la Slice Arcane about 6 years ago, then they're measuring angles, aren't they? Remember that, Adam?
Slice volcano. No.
Yeah, did a moon measurement. Got a whole bunch of people to take angles. Well, you need a flat Earth for those angles.
Yeah, we weren't quite ready then to destroy it back then, were we? The argument wasn't fully tensed.
It started out with Smokescreen Design doing a response. It was part 2 in a response to Red's Rhetoric after Red's Rhetoric had actually addressed Jeranism. So, Smokescreen Design addresses Red's Rhetoric's explanation for, I can't remember what, but something that required an R value for Earth. So, Red's Rhetoric goes through the angle measurement process and then inserts R to show how Earth's a sphere. And Smokescreen Design comes along and goes, you've just inserted R, therefore it works equally well on a flat Earth as it does on a globe. And he was wrong. It only works on a flat Earth because you can only get the angle measurements from a flat Earth to insert the R after the fact. Therefore, you will require Earth to be measured flat in all instances. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curve, at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet as laid down in Earth curve mathematics?
You can't assert that the Earth is curving to assert a geometric horizon. It's impossible.
No, you'd have to extrapolate out that claim from a differential between the surface level, which is flat, even in their own mathematics, and the eye level, also parallel with the surface level. Flat, straight. Go on, Neil. What? What, Neil? I think he's just pocket raised his hand. So, as I say, in the pre-show, somebody who came in and claimed to be on the fence, Ed Masto, I think it was, although under some AK name, essentially said it's a straw man to say that Earth curve blocks boats and buildings. So Neil went to Google and said, how'd you prove Earth's a sphere? And Google say, Earth blocks boats and buildings with a physical horizon called Earth curve. But as soon as that claim fails on its arse, the person claiming it will deny that they're even claiming it.
I heard a bit of that, and it's funny. It's where they're going to now, isn't it? Is blatantly denying their own claim, to deny that Earth curve is the thing that boats and buildings disappear bottom up from.
Well, the geometrical horizon only exists in the math.
Now it does.
Not according to Google. For average Joe Normie, Earth curve is Earth curve at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. It's going to block boats and buildings, as claimed by globe believers. That's the claim. Now, the fact that we have debunked it means they have to give us all sorts of nonsense about how it's not their claim, how it's a straw man to make the claim of Earth curve, and the response that guy got earlier was, welcome to flat Earth. If the horizon's not Earth curve, Welcome to Flat Earth.
No one is expected to see the geometrical horizon.
What I want to know, again, is despite the fact that people like the guy yesterday who lied and Ed Masto today, who's got to deny his own premise, the claim he's making in the first instance of Earth curve has to be relinquished at the point of loss to us. The fact that it's measured flat didn't necessarily come up with that guy today, only after the fact. But these are the people that we're dealing with. Nobody's. Yet in YouTube world, we've got anti-flat earth personalities that are propped up getting thousands of views, dealing with the lowest hanging fruit that there is out there. I suppose there's no necessity for the personalities of anti-flat earth to come and deal with our absolute stone cold facts about our Earth's measured flat when we're suppressed to the bottom of the lists. So hardly anybody's going to them to say, you do realise that Earth's measured flat. They demonstrate it daily on Flat Earth Debate. Maybe my audience could go and let Simon know exactly that. I recently left him a comment in one of his shorts videos where he's dealing with some clown that's claiming comets hit the moon. So correct him on the fact that it's meteors, according to him, in an orbital motion. That's Dan. Is absolute garbage. It's the lowest hanging fruit on the internet. We show our Earth's measured flat for your sphere claim. So please let Simon Dan know. Let's dig out a video. Can you talk amongst yourselves? I'll dig out a video of Simon Dan's so we can let him know.
You know, I was thinking about the celestial sphere model. Someone else trying to talk, sorry.
No, I don't think so.
I was thinking about that space, you know, because they expand the stars in the celestial sphere out to infinity to justify parallel light rays striking the equatorial plane. That means that their heliocentric universe is also directly dependent upon a flat plane of reference.
Yeah, the whole model is derived from the equatorial plane, isn't it? Say model.
Yeah, so
It's not really a model. It's an assertion that comes off a flat measurement.
So to assert
Yeah,
space that gas isn't filling, it requires you to conceptualize it from a flat plane of reference.
Yeah, they claim in parallel light. And that light coming in almost parallel is meeting the ground at perpendicular. And you cannot have a perpendicular, but perpendicular to that vertical is horizontal, which is something that spheres don't have. So they can never have a perpendicular.
It doesn't seem you can have Euclidean geometry on Earth without, or you can't have geometry on Earth without it being flat.
Yep.
Okay,
And that would be the,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that's the geometry that they invoke to try to claim it's a sphere, too, you know. That's why it has to be flat.
This is actually ridiculous. I just went to Wikipedia. You want me to read something from Wikipedia?
Go.
Empirical evidence for the spherical shape of Earth. The roughly spherical shape of Earth can be empirically evidenced by many different types of observations, ranging from ground level, flight, or orbit. The spherical shape causes a number of effects and phenomena that combine disprove flat Earth beliefs. There's one thing right there that's wrong, beliefs. These include the visibility of distant objects on Earth's surface, lunar eclipses, appearance of the moon, observations of the sky from altitude. Wait a second, I'm driving, give me a second. From altitude of the moon, observations of the sky from the altitude, observations of certain fixed stars from different locations, observing the sun, surface navigation, grid distortion on spherical surface, weather systems, gravity, and modern technology. These are all the empirical proofs that Earth is not flat. That's sad.
Yeah, but they all
That's
require a flat plane for the claim.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that, George. They all require a flat plane to measure, to make those inferences, without exception. Apart from the technology one.
That's
What's that
why
got to
it's
do with anything?
sad.
But the technology one's a pretty sad claim. It's like, what technology proves Earth's not flat? That's crap.
There was not one bit of meat on any of those bones. It would just, it proves, does it how? Which one? Pick one and tell me which one and how it proves it. Don't say
Surface
it proves
navigation.
it, not cite it.
Yeah, surface navigation
What
proves
does
it's not flat.
empirical mean, though?
Empirical
Sorry.
means proven.
Reference from reality.
It's saying surface navigation proves it's a sphere. No, it doesn't. Earth's measured flat in celestial navigation. That's navigation of the surface. They're just lying. There's no meat, as you put it, on any of those bones. It's a baseless assertion in all instances. Crap when it comes to
you can't
technology
make the
proves it's
moon.
not a flat plane. Does technology prove that? No, it does not.
Well, which bit of technology? What do you mean? Any old technology proves it? What are you on about? Washing machines. That's technology. How do they prove it's a globe?
Washing machines couldn't work on a flat Earth.
I'm pretty sure it's a valid logical form to say if toaster, then Earth sphere.
Yes, that is the level. Right, although it's not the video I was just referring to or referred to in the pre-show, just so I've got the actual video that I've put in the live stream chat. I've not actually watched this, so I don't know exactly what this is going to be, but we'll see.
Someone's desk. Now, obviously, this man is confused because there is no up and down in space. Up and down are relative to the Earth's surface, up being away from the Earth's surface and down being towards the Earth's surface.
Dan just proved a flat Earth. To describe up and down with respect to the surface must be flat. Simon Dan just proved a flat Earth. On a globe, you wouldn't have an up or a down. You'd have an in and an out with respect to the centre of a sphere, whereas Dan's proving Earth is flat. I didn't expect that. Well done, Dan. Please let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me to tell you that you measured Earth flat with up and down. That's respect to a horizontal plane of reference.
Dear, oh dear, this one is a real bad one.
Sorry, you just used a flat Earth, Dan. Were you unaware? Maybe my audience can let you know. You are requiring a flat plane of reference to describe up and down.
So you start your journey at the Arctic, as far to the north as you can, and you begin to go south. Now notice as I'm going south...
Is it just me, or is this fruit so low hanging that the guy's got Dan's religious belief in a sphere right in front of him? So you're not really even addressing flat earthers and their claims in respect to a flat earth and how it's measured. You're talking about a guy and how he describes how your sphere belief works, right, Dan? You couldn't get much lower hanging.
I have to continue dipping the nose of my airplane in order to stay level with the ground. I'm going to continue all the way to Antarctica. Now notice I'm continuing to dip my nose.
What a shame. First half of that statement was excellent. Adam, give him props.
I was about to, yeah. I'm not sure why he's got a great topic, which is about to be about aerodynamics, how planes work. And he's abandoned it to go traversing a globe by the looks of it.
And moreover, to go to Antarctica.
He's saying north to south.
It's just the fact that he's going to
That's
Antarctica.
a horizontal vector.
Go on, George, sorry.
No, he's saying north to south. That's a horizontal vector.
Yes, it is. No, Dan doesn't know that, and neither does this guy.
Goes down to stay level with the Earth. Now I'm going down.
You can't stay level with the sphere Earth, my friend. You know, all you're doing is offering someone like Simon Dan the lowest possible hanging fruit. There is no level on what you're doing. It's a sphere. So to stay level, you need to nose down. Great statement. They don't. But now we're going to go to Antarctica. Okay.
into South America, continuing to dip down, and finally I get down here to Antarctica. And look at that. My airplane is upside down.
And look at that. A man who doesn't understand that the Earth is not a plastic globe on some.
Right, you're going to show us how the planes do account for Earth curve, Dan, because that's his argument. But you're going to attack the fact that he's got a ball on his desk. That's your rebuttal.
Someone's desk.
That's your rebuttal, is it?
Obviously, this man is confused because there is no up and down in space.
That is literally it. That's the only rebuttal. No, your claim that planes would have to account for Earth curve drop as they progressed along the plane that they traverse is thwarted by me saying he thinks it's just a globe on a desk. Is that a rebuttal? Is that even a rebuttal?
No, it's a non sequitur and just a confused lie at best. Because when do aeroplanes fly in space? I'm not sure what he's on about. We're talking about planes, and then there's no up and down in space. Lovely, happy for you. There's no cheesecake in space either, mate. What's that got to do with aeroplanes?
There is no
Is
Earth
altitude
in
not
space
up and down?
either.
Sorry.
I was just saying there is no Earth in this space he's talking about either, because it would
There's
be
no
in and out.
aeroplanes.
But there's no Earth in this space that he's talking about either.
Go on, Brian.
Is altitude not an up and down?
Altitude isn't up and down, and he already confessed to that.
But
Dan,
Dan
that is.
said there's no up and down in space. Yeah, but planes don't fly in space. They're dealing with altitude. That would be a vertical height above mean sea level.
Yeah, but if they were in space, there'd be no up and down, and therefore that would still not address the point that bloke made.
Yeah, this is who gets propped up. This is what I was moaning about in the pre-show. Idiots dumbing down society like Simon Dan, who cannot even comprehend his opponent's point in this instance. And his rebuttal to it is stupid at best. Furthermore, part of his example requires a horizontal plane of reference to describe up and down for planes to traverse the plane. That's what they're doing. They don't account for drop of Earth's sphericity, ever. Now, in order to actually rebut this, you'd need to show that they do. So I'm going to challenge Dan to do just that. Given that you have absolutely unequivocally ignored this man's actual point, I'll put it to you in a more concise way. Dan, I challenge you, because you do debate. Remember when you debated me on Twitter and then went around lying about that fact that you lost to me in debate on Twitter? Yeah? Well, I would like you to explain exactly why. I've forgotten my point now. I'm so bloody ill. What was I going on about?
Why aeroplanes don't know.
Why aeroplanes don't drop. I want Dan to actually address this man's point and show aeroplanes correcting for Earth's sphericity. Now, they don't, and he never will show this. Earth being measured flat, and all of the navigation systems that the plane utilises are also flat, without exception. But Dan's claimed to rebut this by saying he thinks Earth's just a desk ball. No, Dan, you're going to have to actually address some of this, and I'm sending an audience to make sure that you actually do address it. Because you going after the low-hanging fruit isn't going to cut it anymore. Yeah? People are telling you that Earth is measured flat, and I want you to address that.
Yeah, and do not address it while utilizing a horizontal plane of reference or the word level, which is having no part higher or lower than the other, which is the description of a plane. So don't use up and down, because that's with respect to those planes of reference. You can only use in or out. See how you can describe drop with in or out.
Hopefully one of the mods will put Simon Dan's link back in the chat so that some members of the audience, got 72 people watching, can go and let him know. Flat Earth Debate are challenging you based on the fact that they show Earth is measured flat for your sphere claim. And they want you to address that fact. The fact that Earth is measured flat. Not the fact that some tosser's got a globe on a desk. No, that's crap. Now, that's just proof that YouTube use you to make people more stupid. So please let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. There's a link going by in the live stream chat now, thanks to Divergent Droid. And yeah, hopefully Dan, who to his credit did actually put one of his videographers, I do believe it was Dan, in the comment section. He tagged the person he was responding to. I doubt that's as an influence of me saying that they should do this when they're responding to videos. But the idea being that in the same way we're sending an audience to Dan, not that he needs any greater promotion, YouTube do it for him to dumb down the world. Nevertheless, we're sending a few people his way. And if he were to respond, by respond, I mean justify how your sphere utilizes a flat Earth measurement, elevation angle specifically. And we want Dan to address that fact. The fact that Earth is measured flat for his sphere belief. We've been going through it for the last few months. If he doesn't understand, we can clarify it for him. Maybe via Twitter. Right, Dan? Where you debated me? I can clarify it via Twitter if you don't understand it, Dan. I understand how stupid you are. I understand that us telling you that your sphere Earth belief comes as a result of a flat Earth measurement, that might be a little bit too much for you to understand. Now, I can explain it further via Twitter where we can debate, Dan, where we debated previously and you lost to me. Now, obviously, I prefer you stopped lying to audiences about what you do in debate. You lost to me in debate on Twitter. So stop lying, you scumbag. But address the fact that your sphere belief comes from a flat Earth measurement. That's what we're putting to you. It's a damn sight harder to overcome than some guy with an aeroplane with a globe on a desk that you can address it by saying in a non sequitur fashion, he thinks Earth's just a globe on a desk. No, he obviously doesn't. But that's what the dumbest person on YouTube can address this claim with. His actual claim was planes would have to go around the sphere of the Earth, the curve of the Earth, if they're on a sphere, and they don't. Meanwhile, the claim they're on a sphere for them to not traverse, the belief in it required a flat Earth measurement. Elevation angles to Polaris to give you the minimum elevation angle and your radius value, or Al-Biruni's differential calculation from eye level to surface level to derive R. Both require a flat Earth. And I want Dan to address that. Lest he be called the same coward he was when he started lying about losing in debate to me on Twitter. Total coward, total scumbag liar. Now it's time to actually address some proper flat Earth arguments so we can show the world just how stupid this man is. Same with Dave McKeegan. Same with all of these numpties. They're all out here dumbing the world down as they search for this subject. The
Dave
public, that
McKeegan
is.
has a video that came out in the past 24 hours. I didn't see it. Something to do with airplanes as well. Sorry.
Yeah, McKeegan. I saw the thumbnail and I saw that he got 60,000 views on it in about 5 hours. Gone from zero to hero in no time because he's algorithmically favoured. Why? Well, because he's some dumb, stuttering, speech impediment-laden idiot that can show the world how, if he can do it, you can do it. If this complete moron can do it, you can definitely debunk the flat Earth claims. Why? Well, we're going to look at some aeroplanes. Like, what about measurements? Let's start the discussion with the actual measurements of Earth. The ones that lead to the R value for your sphere belief. Let's start with those. Not looking at aeroplanes, not looking at boats and buildings in the distance, looking at how we physically measure Earth. And how we physically measure Earth is flat. We're demonstrating that. Under very heavy suppression. Please share the show. We did 3 days on Anthony Riley, and as much as you tried to convince me that it would be very, very popular, Brian, I think the audience is probably a bit sick of doing it now.
Yeah, no worries. It's okay. There was loads there that we never got to. Loads. That was only the big problem was right in the middle. That guy did his best to spend 45 minutes not admitting that he didn't have the citation, or he just made it up, or added to something, or someone. You know what I mean? He wouldn't send it on. It was brought up again later on, but there was loads of other important, juicy stuff that never got covered. But it doesn't matter because the topic itself, you can't force it down everyone's throat, I suppose, for a whole week. Do you know what I mean? So that's fine.
Well, I'm happy to come back to it. That's what I was about to say. So I agree. There is other stuff in there that can be covered. So therefore, maybe next week, if we cover it then. I'm probably going to take tomorrow off. I'm going to be honest. Every day I've got more ill. So I think I should probably at least have a day off just to get better. And if I can do it on a Friday, I think by Monday I'll be better. But at the moment, I'm pouring with sweat. I feel like death. Anyway.
Hot whiskey, that's what you need.
What's that? Paracetamol?
Hot whiskey.
Hot whiskey? Same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly the same.
Yeah, and both days I've thought, I need an easy show. So I've said to the panel, can you lead this show today? And then yesterday it was Bacon lying about azimuth angle measurement calculation, according to him. Or both, once he's called out on his lie. And then today it was Ed Masto. You know, I'm like, why? I've only just started and now I'm pouring with sweat. Why do you think they do that? Why are they lying to us? Not Dan, he's just dumb as hell. But the people who actually do come here with tactics and lies.
It's either lie or lose. That simple. I've had it myself in the past 24 hours. I'll tell you about it if you want. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
Was attacking spherical trigonometry. This claim of spherical trigonometry, right? So I put out a challenge there yesterday.
Hold on, Brian. Are you hot micing or did you want to add something lumpy? Hot micing. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, so I was attacking that spherical trigonometry. I put out a challenge there a couple of days ago, and the ballers were all just complaining, I can't do any of this if you won't allow us to have a radius, blah, blah, blah. And we need this and we need that, right? Because spherical trigonometry is a load of rubbish, right? There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a spherical triangle. But anyway. So yesterday I put out another challenge where I gave them 2 side lengths and an angle. And I said they must keep the side lengths the same and they must keep the angle the same. Right? They can't change the angle. And I gave them the radius of the globe. I said, no. And you can set it at any orientation you want. In other words, move the angle to any of the 3 points you want, but you must use that angle within your claimed spherical triangle, and those 2 side lengths must stay the same in length and whatever else, right? And they came back with a load of nonsense. Right? They came back with a load of first person came back, this guy Andrew Johnson, came back with a load of jargon, right, about how we did it. But what I had added into my challenge was at the end, I showed what the 3rd side length would be if we used a real triangle, right? Now, he came back with a claimed spherical triangle that had the same angle within it that I had set, that didn't change, and 2 side lengths, but it had a smaller 3rd side, which meant 2 things. One, he was totally lying because you can't have a smaller 3rd side, right? Especially in a spherical triangle, you wouldn't be able to have that. Secondly, the whole thing of a spherical triangle is it creates what they call spherical excess mathematically. It's all mathematical. So he actually went against the whole spherical excess thing to try and lie his way through it. Now, a lot of other people joined in with him and started coming up with coordinates off of Google Earth and blah, blah, blah. But they all just tried to parrot the things, what he was saying. So they're all together on Discord, and several of them were trying to parrot the same stuff. And I called them all out on it. I said, this is a chorus of lies, because all you're doing is trying to claim that you're using greater than 180 degrees and coming up with a smaller internal area than if you used 180 degrees. Now, why did they need to do that? Why did they need to come up with a big elaborate scheme that's just a chorus of lies? There's just a load of them trying to say they've all done it and it all works out the same and spherical trigonometry proven. When it was every one of them, I said to them, how can you have greater than 180 degrees and the same 2 side lengths and have less internal area than what the actual real triangle would have? That's impossible. You would have to have more internal area because you're using greater number of degrees and keeping the 2 same side lengths. No matter what you do, you're going to end up with a greater internal area. It's what they call spherical excess. And they actually none of them could address that. They wouldn't even address that they even got the comment. Do you know what I mean? Why did they need to do that? Because it's either that or admit that this spherical trigonometry claim is a load of rubbish. So why did they do it? Why did they need to lie? Because it's lie or lose. Simple as.
The way these measurements are actually taken is with respect to a horizontal plane of reference. The fact that they can then project those measurements up through a protractor that they call the globe means that they have an excess. But the actual measurements themselves are taking place on the equatorial plane on a flat Earth. The globe itself is nothing more than a glorified protractor that we do not stand on. We're not standing in the middle of it either, that's for sure. It just doesn't exist. Earth's measured flat. The inference of a globe comes from that flat Earth measurement, projecting up measurements through the equatorial plane up onto the protractor known as the globe, won't make the surface sphere-shaped. It'll just cause mathematical problems.
I'm sorry, I just read 10 empirical proofs that Earth is not flat. Do you deny them?
What technology? Let's start with that one. How does technology prove Earth's not flat?
Well, the technology they're probably talking about is the moon, right? They went to the moon. So technology proves that Earth is a sphere because through technology, they were able to go to the moon and send a nice shot of the blue marble. There you go.
Okay, let's start there. The sky is not a vacuum. If the sky was a vacuum to traverse to get to the moon to take pictures of Earth from space, then the gas we're breathing would fill the space. When they look back at a blue marble with gas pressure around it in a 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum, that was a lie, a violation of natural law. You can't travel through second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuums to take pictures of Earth from space. There is no space. On screen now. Admittedly with sextants.
Okay.
Also,
Hold on. Nearly done. This is 14 or 14.7 or thereabouts PSI, according to them. This is a 10 to the minus 17 torr sky vacuum. Now, if the sky was a vacuum, that would be an area of volume at a much lower pressure that high pressure gas could fill, then this high pressure gas would go into this space. It's a law of nature. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. Now, Simon Dan also covered this with a BBC correspondent, didn't he? And they didn't have any rebuttal to that. The BBC correspondent was like, well, it's just magical words or something. That was the level of the BBC correspondent's response to Dan when he pointed out that the second law of thermodynamics proves the sky is not a vacuum. I trimmed that out too, didn't I, Dan? Yeah? The sky is not a vacuum. You can't travel to the moon to get pictures of space. What's next?
Well, the funny thing is,
before you go,
hold on.
Just
Good.
just saying, before you go off at that point, just to add to Nathan's point, the difference in what they're calling the 14.7 psi that's claimed to be around our globe and what's out in their outer space is 14.6.99999999999. It's crazy. There's no 10 to the minus 17 torr is such a low psi value, such a low pressure that it's all you're literally almost taking away basically all the air, everything. And that 14.7, according to them, is not expanding out rapidly into this 10 to the minus 17 torr.
Straight up.
Also, the space that they're speaking about that gas would be filling is with respect to a horizontal plane of reference that is the Earth.
Yeah, to describe to describe the gas moving up would require a horizontal plane of reference to describe it.
I think, right, I worked that out. I think it was, I was trying to work out as the number of molecules per meter cubed, but there wasn't one molecule in a meter cubed. So you needed 3 meters cubed, I think it was, to have one molecule.
It was me that asked you to calculate this, do you remember?
Yeah. I think it was 3 meters cubed to have one molecule in.
Yeah, 3 meters. Yes, I do remember it was exactly that. It was 3 meters cubed. In other words, what the problem was that typically you'd do it in a meter cubed, but that's not enough space. There'd be 0 in it.
Yes, Adam. Yep. That's correct. I calculated it myself there some while back.
All right, tough guys. The next one before that was gravity.
What's that?
That just explained everything about the moon, the moon travel, right? It's because of gravity. You're saying that you can't have gas pressure without containment, and I agree, but they're claiming that gravity is the containment. It'll stop the gases from continually accelerating into its available volume.
What's the composition of this gravity you're claiming?
It just says gravity. But the one I'm really concerned about is what is grid distortion on a spherical surface? What is that?
Their distortion that they're trying to turn into something that is the opposite of a proof. That's what that is. Distortion being the operative word. Why did they have distortions?
That's grid distortion? What do they mean by that?
What grid is distorting? Would it be the latitude and longitude grid?
That's what I'm thinking. So that's proving a flat Earth right there. And then you got observing the sun.
What, looking at the sun?
These are empirical. It says
is it
right
just
here.
me?
Empirical evidence.
Is it just me, or do these sound like housekeeping questions, but with the baseless assertion that they actually prove the globe?
That's exactly what they are. Yeah.
I didn't catch that till you just said it.
So just lay out the housekeeping questions and just say, well, that proves the globe. I'll check that.
You want me to believe that we're not having an effect. You could not have found this laid out the way it is right now, say 5 years ago. But now, because Flat Earth Debate, Nathan Oakley 1980, they got these ball housekeeping questions. We're making an impact.
Maybe. I mean, while they've got people like Scientism promoting utter nonsense from a complete position of ignorance, lying about debating and things of that nature, we will continue to be in the position that we're in. Because anybody looking for us will never find us. They'll only find the YouTube dumbing the world down Scientism videos. Hence, we need the audience to go and tell them. 77 people watching. Please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Hopefully we can get up to 100 people watching. It'd be nice to get the audience numbers going in the right direction. But please let him know, of the 77 people in the audience, please let Scientism know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. He's got some serious questions to be answering. Go ahead, Brian. Neil.
The one that says fixed stars from different locations, is that south observation and north observation is different? Is that the thing my son is always telling me?
You asking Brian?
I'm asking anybody. Observation of certain fixed stars from different locations.
You'll need a flat Earth for those.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Hey, do you remember when the Baller came out with their own housekeeping questions?
Vaguely. Remind us.
I can't remember any of them. They were so bad, but they did come out with them.
Yeah, that didn't really last very long, eh? Typically, if you've got a good set of housekeeping rules in a hotel, then to keep the place looking nice, you go through that all the time. You just keep up that process over and over and over and over again. Where's their housekeeping questions? Oh, they don't have them. They just were there temporarily to, mock us, presumably.
This is sad. If anybody was really looking into the subject and they stumbled across this, I guess the way they have it worded, it may seem like, wow, they got it all locked down here. But if they watched any of our shows and everything, or paying attention a little bit, they're going to look at this and say, hold on a second. This is a bunch of shite.
Yeah. So the only way to combat that is to suppress us, isn't it? You can't have us with as much prevalence as Scientism because people in the audience will put pressure on him to overcome what they've heard from us. They hear Simon Dan going, oh, right, yeah, it's just because this idiot flat earther thinks that the globe Earth that we're standing on is just this model of a ball on a table with an aeroplane moving around it, when he makes an example of how there's no drop when you're travelling across the world on an aeroplane. But that's what the people who watch think is the issue that needs to be addressed, because they've not looked up the issues that need to be addressed. And Dan's not addressing them. And we're not being promoted. So the world doesn't get to hear the awful truth that Earth's measured flat. So there's no pressure on Dan to answer it, is there? 83 people watching. Please go and let Simon Dan know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. We want him to address the fact that Earth radius for his claims of a sphere Earth are taken from a flat plane. Earth is measured flat for his sphere belief, and we want him to address that, given that he's the most prevalent numpty in the sphere Earth, anti-flat Earth arena. Alternatively, you could just lie, Dan, like you usually do about debating people. Just lie. Hey, QE.
Neil, just read that fixed stars bit again for me, the claim. I wasn't sure what it's relating to. Can you read it again? Or not?
He's driving. Hopefully he'll come back in a couple of minutes. We can talk amongst ourselves while he does.
Oh, I'm here. I thought I was reading it, but I was still on mute. It says observation of certain fixed stars from different locations. It's exactly how it's written.
Okay. So that's a flat Earth concept, isn't it? The fixed stars is not a heliocentric. They're not fixed at all. It refers to the reality that we have the fixed star field separate to the planetas and the comets. Yeah. But in their description, it's not fixed. So know your own topic, mate, is what I'd say.
I think what they mean, though, Adam, sorry about the background noise. I think what they mean is that they're not moving. We are.
Well,
that's their claim.
No, when you use the term fixed stars, it's the fixed star field that other things are relative to. So if you're going to talk about retrograde motion, it's in respect to the rest of the fixed star field.
Yeah, but the people writing this don't sound like they're the sharpest.
No,
I'm just saying.
No, but then
well, you're correct. But what they think is correct might be something else.
But what would the certain non-relative movement with respect to each other prove a ball Earth? If I demonstrate a lack of parallax with a fixed star field, how does that support heliocentrism?
Doesn't. You'll need a flat Earth for that.
Yeah.
What else you got, Neil?
Did you say QE was here?
Yes.
So QE, Brian, you and Adam are here. So the 4 hitmen are here. I'm glad. Because D Rose is coming in at 10:30. You just need to hear something.
The 4 hitmen? What the hell? Why are you calling us the 4 hitmen?
That's correct. Well, that's what was explained to D Rose. When he comes on, he'll explain it to you. And I'm joking around about it, but it's a very serious offense. And it could get people shut down if this thing were to be, let's say, verbalized to the point where a baller gets a hold of it and decides to report it.
What? What are you babbling about?
D Rose is coming on a little bit. He'll explain it to you. The other thing I
not
have,
relevant to the show.
Right, pertaining to that is eclipses, lunar eclipses. That proves a spherical Earth and not flat.
Okay, although they haven't given us the actual argument, that's an affirming the consequent fallacy. If Earth's a sphere, we'll have lunar eclipses, therefore Earth's a sphere. How does it actually prove we're on a sphere? It doesn't, it just affirms the consequent. It's a logical fallacy. They haven't laid out the fallacy, they've just made it as a basis.
No, but they haven't been an asked Celine Dion, have they?
Well, they haven't made it as an actual claim. They've just made it as a baseless assertion, but we know how that argument is structured. So they give you the absolute bare minimum in this list. But if you go and look into what they've stated, so eclipses, you go, okay, eclipses prove it's not flat, it's a globe because of eclipses. Okay. Why? Or maybe I'll go and look into it. And then you'll find your way to the logical fallacy. The assumption being that seeing that there's an expansion to that baseless assertion with a logical fallacy of affirming the consequent will back it up in the mind's eye of a Dumbo. You know, your typical Simon Dan viewer.
A lunar eclipse, but that doesn't exist. Nothing gets occulted.
No, that's true.
A shadow is not an occultation. A shadow doesn't occult things. It's a shadow. And that's what they're claiming. And they have no proof that it's a shadow. I'm just saying that a shadow is not occultation.
I wouldn't even call it a shadow.
Claim.
Well, shadows don't turn red.
Exactly. That's another one.
I've watched it with my own eyes. I'm colourblind and I could still see it changing colour. It wasn't occulted in any way, though. That's your point, right? Yeah, occultation in heliocentric orbital motion is what you require, and you don't have that with the moon. It's weak.
This is saying, though, if you read it, by many different types of observations, ranging from ground level flight or orbit, the spherical shape causes a number of effects and phenomena that combined disprove flat Earth. So it's all of these things combined.
We haven't had anything
on a spherical surface.
We haven't had anything.
What does that mean?
Go on, Brian.
Yeah, ground level flight or orbit. They're trying to add in something that isn't real with something that is. You know what I mean? It's like attaching it on. It's like technology. It's that kind of a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're begurking it out. They're not substantiating their baseless assertion in any way. All of these things combined. What things? You've not substantiated any of it. A lot of it requires a flat Earth. What else you got, Neil? Keep going.
Well, it says all these things, number of effects and phenomena that combined disprove it. Look, here's another one. The visibility of distant objects on Earth's surface.
The visibility of objects, that's perspective.
Distant objects on Earth's surface.
Yeah, distant objects. That's perspective. Hashtag shit shrinks. How does that prove Earth curve? Doesn't say, it's not substantiated. Let's just tell the audience. The way this is substantiated is by taking flat Earth measurements of surface level and using a derivation from eye level to infer that there's a below surface level marked with an X labelled horizon physical geometric sphere edge. The same one that was denied by our opponent in the pre-show, who told us to claim such things is a straw man by us. That would be to say, our opponent told us in the pre-show that to say Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 and every distance to horizon will be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the surface height in feet. Where did we get that from? Earth curve maths. What's that you say? Straw man we're using? No, it's just your failed Earth curve maths.
Didn't I prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that the two can't coexist together? Perspective and occur.
Yeah, you kind of both. The optical resolution loss calculation that they've labelled Earth curve is just that. It's a hijacking of perspective. It's an optical resolution loss calculation that uses surface level and eye level to calculate a point of optical resolution loss that they'll call Earth curve below surface level. But to make this inference requires a flat plane, and you can't incorporate perspective into that orthographic view. All objects in the orthographic mathematics of Earth curve, where they take a flat plane and a parallel eye level with it and infer that there's a point below the surface level to block boats and buildings, that cannot include perspective. The targets stay the same feet and inches value at all distances. If it's an 8-foot wall that you're calculating how much Earth curve blocks it, when you take the differential from flat surface level and flat eye level parallel with it, you're going to infer it based on an 8-foot wall or whatever I just said, staying 8 foot at all distances. So when it reaches 1,000,000 miles, oh, well, it's only not visible because Earth curve's got in the way. Not that an 8-foot wall would be too small to see or anything. They can't include that because 8 foot isn't an angular resolution description. It's 8 foot. It's an actual size. Perspective would require you to describe the angle as it recedes into the distance. Hashtag shit shrinks. But they can't have that, Brian. Absolutely correct.
Well, a 6-foot object for an observer at 0 degrees eye height will disappear at 3 miles away due to angular resolution limit. The same, according to the maths of the sphere Earth, the same thing will happen due to Earth. Now, if both of them existed together, that 6-foot object would disappear at 1.8 miles away, because 3 foot of it will disappear due to Earth, and the other 3 foot will be at 0.02 degrees resolution, angular size. So consequently, it won't be seen. Now, we know that doesn't happen, which means only one of them can exist. So we know that these objects are disappearing at 3 miles away and will disappear 3 miles away. We know that perspective does exist, which means that cancels out our code, does it not?
Yeah, you can't have both. It can only be one, and we already know how their Earth curve maths came to fruition. They hijacked perspective. You can't then incorporate the thing that you've hijacked and called Earth curve into the calculation, because then you'll have a double dip, as Anthony used to call it. Well, then it just won't work. Shout out to Royce Dames, hopefully I'm saying your name correctly, bugged me why orbits of planets are all on the same plane. Now it makes sense. If Earth is a flat plane we reference to discern globe orbits, then their orbits have to reflect our flat plane to work. Absolutely correct. John, did you
What
want
do they mean by observation of sky from altitude? What the hell does that mean?
Another flat Earth proof. To observe the sky from altitude, that, to me, although they're not explicitly stating what they're claiming, means that you're up in an aeroplane looking at the sky, right? Would you agree that is a reasonable inference from what you've just said, Neil? Let's just get that pegged down before we move on. Is it a reasonable inference that I say that claim is a suggestion that we're looking at the stars from an aeroplane, for example, Neil?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Is it a reasonable inference that what you've just suggested, that doesn't make explicit what they're actually claiming, would be satisfied by describing what looking at the stars from an aeroplane? Would that be a satisfactory inference for me to move on from?
That sounds like it's good to me.
That description, when you're utilizing the stars, doesn't comport with how the globe works in terms of their fixed distances to their heliocentric maths of stars in orbit. What actually occurs is all angle measurements to those stars remain the same at all altitudes. So you can go up in an aeroplane, take a measurement of the stars, and it is exactly the same measurement as if you were on the same point below that aeroplane on the ground. There's no difference. How is that a globe Earth proof? It isn't. It demonstrates the majesty of the sky, and it demonstrates that you always have the sky parallel with the flat Earth for it to functionally work. And it does. You go up in an aeroplane, you can still take a flat Earth elevation angle measurement from the aeroplane if you establish a horizontal in the sky. But in order for that to work in terms of ground positioning, you need the point that you've drawn out in the sky, a horizontal plane of reference, to be parallel with the ground for it to function correctly. And it does, because Earth is flat.
So it's a flat Earth proof.
Yes. Next.
That's it. You just got them all.
We got them all. Oh, cool. That's good. I've got 5 minutes left on the live show. I thought there was one more question.
No, that was it. But D Rose has a certain specific amount of time he can come in. So if we could run the show to at least 10:30. So when he comes in at lunch break.
I'm going to make my disclaimers for why there won't be a show tomorrow. So for the last week, I've been absolutely terribly ill. And I've reached the point where I'm now sweating and shivering, and yeah, I'm not gonna run a show tomorrow. I should have not run a show the last 3 days, but I feel getting to Thursday is adequate to stop people moaning at me. In other words, I won't get moaned at if I just don't have a Friday show. Whereas if I hadn't had a show today, yesterday, or the day before, people would start moaning, would they not?
Oh, whoa. Wait a second.
I mean, you'd start
Tomorrow's
moaning, Neil.
Friday. Did you say you're taking off Friday?
I'm taking tomorrow. Yes, Neil, I am taking tomorrow off. Yes.
Is there a Ball Busters at least Saturday?
If there is, I'm not going to be there because I'm poorly.
I
He'll be
know.
okay tomorrow. He'll have a show tomorrow.
We should have did the Discord today then.
Should have what?
We should have visited the Discord today then, since we're not doing it Friday.
Visiting what Discord?
It's a tentative Friday thing. It's not necessarily Fridays that you go into the Discord.
We're always in Discord. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, he's talking about visiting another platform, another server.
Oh, I mean, I'll periodically do that when anybody wants to.
Man, I wanted to do that yesterday, but all right, fair enough.
If you want to do that at any point.
Hold on, Eli, you got the power.
Yeah.
You're in all these servers. Just tell Nathan where you want to go.
The best way to do it, Eli, do you know how to send a link for me to just be plopped into whatever room? Do you know how to do that?
Yes.
That's how you do it. You go, Nathan, I've sent you a link to X server. Can you click on it and go in there? And I'll go, yeah, all right. And then we'll be in whatever server you like.
All right, cool.
Obviously, we don't want to stray too far from home in the respect that this is our home on Flat Earth Debate server. And I don't want anybody who's in that server to feel put out when we disappear to someone else's server, if you know what I mean. Because I don't run the Flat Earth Debate server. Maybe not a lot of people appreciate this, but it's not my server. I didn't start it. I don't run it. I don't moderate it. Literally all I do is go in and join the chat so that I've got a public gateway for people to join. Now, I do appreciate that people who join the Discord server enjoy the discourse that goes on inside the server, inside the chat streams. I just never look at them at all. Somebody contacted me yesterday in a comment section of one of the videos and said, I've sent you a specific message that I would like to look at on Discord. I'm like, I don't use Discord. Literally, the only purpose I have for it is this. But in order to have this and have a whole raft of people all ready to chit-chat with us, means that there's got to be an actual server for people to peruse and hang around in and chit-chat with other people in. So, people still want the server to be run correctly. There's no way I could just start up a server and put my chat link below the video and then just hope that the room filled up. It's got to it builds up its own community, doesn't it? In order to have that group of people come in on the live shows. Yes, other people might come in from the general public by clicking the link and joining the server, but once they've joined the server, they want, as much as I hate to say it, the community aspect of a Discord server once they're there, in this case to debate about Flat Earth. So it's not just, I can't just have the bit I need without having lots and lots and lots of work from all the people who do run the server. So just a quick shout out to them. I don't want you to feel put out should Eli send links to me to go to other people's servers. Yes, we love the moderation team. Yeah, we do. my G plus don't care, clearly. Right, that note, I'm probably going to round out this live show. So with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow.
Ain't no ball buster Saturday.
Oh, is there not?
Yes, there is. I'll be at the helm in your stead.
Wow. So no show tomorrow, no Ball Busters Saturday, nothing till Monday?
What am I, chopped liver,
freak? What'd you say, Eli? I didn't hear
He says he's going to run the show.
Oh, you run a Ball Busters. Okay, good. Good enough. Did QE okay it?
We don't need his okay. I'm going to steal his likeness.
I smell mutiny.
Use artificial intelligence. And I'm going to use his voice. And he doesn't use pictures, so we're already in there.
Are you trying to say we don't know what QE looks like? I know what he looks like.
We do, but for the show's purposes, we only need his voice.
Mutiny.
I was
No,
going
but
to do a treatment this evening, but I don't think I can do it. We got baseball-sized hail possible and tornadoes. So,
Hey guys,
What?
Hey, Righteous.
yeah. Hold on a second, Righteous. Yeah. So I was going to do that. I might do that Friday just to let everyone know. But it's really just no Ballbuster Saturday for right now.
Treatment on
Go
who?
ahead, Righteous.
the heavenly store is opening up, huh?
Yeah. It's possible. Go ahead.
The size is baseballs?
It's tennis ball to baseball size hail possible and tornado. So go ahead, Righteous.
Nathan, you got disconnected by accident in Discord. You got to rejoin Discord.
Okay.
You got to rejoin the peanut gallery.
I have.
So is the bow fixed, QA?
Yeah, I got it fixed yesterday.
Ah, good. Good luck on Saturday then.
I'll need it.
You going shooting?
Yes.
Cool. It's no ballbusters, right?
Correct.
No one has touched your perfect bow, right?
I had to let him touch it, but I was hovering over him.
So you're no longer stressless, as Betty said.
I no longer what?
What was the thing that broke? What was the thing she said? Because she said you broke your
rest.
Yeah, and she said so you're stressless or something. That was funny.
So you're restless.
Restless. That's it. So you're no longer restless. I got it.
Yeah, I got it hooked up, so we're good to go.
She comes up with some good ones, Betty.
All right, so what's going on? What's happened? I heard I've been in and out. I've been hearing some I have to be here for something or what?
I don't think it can be discussed on the show. Waiting for D-Rose to come in and maybe Nathan can round out, or making an arrangement where you guys can get in a Skype call.
I'm
Serious
so
allegations have been made.
Allegations, huh? Adam did it.
No, there was the big four. It was listed as Nathan, Adam, Huey, and Brian.
You know what we've done? We've only gone and proved the flat Earth, haven't we?
Well, that was a real conversation killer.
So that's the four horsemen of the apocalypse for Globetards.
And that's exactly what this event would be, apocalyptic for a certain party.
Hasn't it already been that way?
Yeah, for the ballers, for sure. But this has nothing to do with the ballers.
Oh.
This sounds ridiculously serious. Are you sure it's as serious as you're making it out to be? Because this is sounding like absolutely it's all over kind of talk.
No, but no, it's nothing like that. You got to hear from him. I don't want. He's the one that it was sent to, not me. He
I
just
dunno.
reiterated the information to me.
I suggest
But you got to hear it from him.
I suggest you carry on this line, not telling us anything that we can respond to, hinting at it so that we can drag out the next.
Okay, fine. You just dragged it out of me. It's been said
that wasn't
that
hard.
freaking you.
Oh, that was hard.
You know that movie where they said in the mafia, one slap to get him to talk and 1,000 to get him to shut up. You just gave me one smack, and I'm spilling the beans. I can't wait for him because I don't know if he's gonna come in and listen. Serious allegations have been made that you threatened the life of one Arwen.
What?
And that's not even a joke. That's a real thing. He said that you threatened his life. He's afraid for his life. And he thought he imagined it, but now he knows for real that it was done. he was so excited that Chocolate was on the show yesterday because he thought Chocolate had vanished and maybe the hit was put on him. I don't know why. But these are things being said. And if they're said in the show and a baller picks it up, I mean, I'm afraid channels can get shut down. And we can't have that.
No.
So you need to get to buy. And Brian, nobody knows what you look like. So you could be
what?
the
Show
sneaky
myself.
predator of it all.
I show myself many times. There's even even on my own channel, there's videos with me on it.
This is a
That's
massive.
what D-Rose told him.
This is a massive nothing burger. Arwen's imagination that somebody's oppressing him. Oh no, actually,
No,
he thought he
threatened to
imagined
kill
it.
him.
Now he knows it was true. I couldn't care.
No. Not oppressed, threatened to kill him.
What a load of crap.
Yeah, what a load of rubbish. What a complete load of rubbish. I mean, I don't really know what to say. It's such
Just
a load of
don't.
rubbish.
Just
I don't
don't.
really know.
Don't even address it. If someone wants
it's
to,
not worth addressing.
if
Let's
someone's
get back
got,
to other things.
yeah, if someone's got a substantive claim in that regard, they put a quote verbatim, word for word, recording of the person saying it, picture of the text where one of us four has threatened this man's life. Total garbage. Total nonsense.
No, it's all four of us.
So nothing can become of it. No, I don't know if it was like I don't know if it's that, but I don't know if it's individuals or whatever. But D-Rose had the conversation with him because he called him. So he
You ever heard
called
of-
D-Rose.
Like when the guy Glurf was dealing with Anthony, and he claimed that he'd got a citation that he hadn't got, and then Anthony quoted Hitchens' razor to him. Claims that aren't supported with evidence can be dismissed without evidence.
Yep.
As long as you just can't get in trouble and channels don't get shut down, I'm fine.
That's not going to happen, Neil.
The Arwen's problem is this: that even if someone did do that, unless he had a recording of it, no one would believe him because he comes up with such crazy nonsense. Do you know what I mean? When did it happen? Because what he's likely to say is, when did this happen? It happened in a great dream I had 4 years ago. Do you know what I mean? You don't know what's going to come out of Arwen. Do you know what I mean?
You shouldn't laugh. Hold on. Before you start mocking the guy, right? It sounds like he's having mental issues, as harsh as that sounds. If he's imagining being persecuted by us, then I'm deeply concerned for the guy. I'm dead serious.
He's always had that.
And that's why I said he's doing it. That's what it is.
Oh, you think
There
he's
you
doing
go.
it so that people are concerned for him?
Absolutely. That's what
Why?
I told D-Rose.
Well, fair
I
enough.
don't think so. I think he's just always had that level of mental. You know what I mean?
Say it,
kind
Brian.
of.
Say it. Say illness.
Well, he said he's been trying to contact people and nobody's answering him. But there's a reason for that. I don't think he's understood that yet.
Right, he's saying
Arwen's
that
always
people aren't
he
answering
talked
him.
about going 80 years into a dark world. He was talking about that. That turns out to be just ayahuasca. Do you know what I mean? But he said he was in the dark world for 80 years. He's talking about this for years. It's like, that's not, these kind of things aren't new. Like, with Arwen, like, he has an imagination, you know.
Right. Yeah, now I don't know what to think. If you're saying he's only doing it to garner sympathy.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because he tried to come back in, and I don't know what that was an apology or whatever, and that didn't seem to work, and he doesn't understand why Adam's being so cryptic with him. I mean, it's very understandable to me. Just go reflect on what you did and come back sincerely. I mean, nobody kicked him out. And he's making it sound like we kicked him out or we don't want him back. So
The reality is,
I don't know.
he gets the link just as much. He hasn't been removed from any of the groups, and he gets the link daily, doesn't he? So therefore, he could join, but he doesn't want to face the consequences of his own actions. He wants us to welcome him back with open arms and tell him there are no consequences to your actions. Come on, back in you come, buddy. Nobody will lecture you about it. Yeah, we will. Yeah, he's going to get an earful, isn't he? So he doesn't want to come in, and he's saying, "Oh, they're stopping me." No, you get the link daily. You just don't want to come in because you'll end up having to face.
He didn't say it's stopping him. He said he's not been welcomed back in. they didn't seem too welcoming, and it seems like we don't want him there. That's
Yeah,
how he's saying it to his audience.
Punch someone metaphorically in the face, they don't tend to be very welcoming to you.
I thought we were very welcoming.
I did too.
Yeah. We were very welcoming, but we, as we pointed out, did expect him to man up and behave like a man and deal with the consequences of his actions to move forwards. That was put to him, and we asked him to join the next day. He never did. We kept getting all sorts of mitigation in the little chat, and we put it to him to just, having heard our side of things and how sad it was to witness his ramblings about us, we would just like him to think on that and maybe just think about what he's apologising for. He's never returned since. So if we're going to make up scenarios, off you go. But unless you'd like to challenge that, that's what happened. He was welcomed back, but he was expected to deal with the situation.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's audio of him on his own show screaming for Nathan to die. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be hard to claim Nathan's been threatening his life.
So what you're claiming is projection then?
Well, he was on his own show screaming and shouting how you were this, that, and everything, and you needed to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so he's projecting his own guilt onto me. They've threatened me. No, he's threatened us. Literally, that's the example, but he's claiming we've done it to him. So he's now decided to project his crimes, if you want to call them that, onto us.
Yeah, that's what I told D Rose too. It sounds like projection.
It is projection. That's a textbook example. You go around shouting down the lens of a camera that somebody needs to die, and then 3 weeks later say, this person's threatened my life. What? That's pure projection.
Well, let me read it to you the way D Rose said it to me. That's why I was concerned. And D Rose ain't been around that long, and he's been away for a while. He said, hey, Arwen told me some real disturbing shit last night, which I'm strongly hoping is not true, and is just a figment of his imagination going through whatever psychological tribulations he's facing currently. Assuming I even think I kind of sort of know you guys fairly well enough to be able to decipher between fabricating accusations and truthful accusations or implications. So I read that and I said, D-Rose, just call me because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And he began to tell me some stuff that is really disturbing. Now,
I've got a question, Neil. Right, we're fairly smart chaps and we're resourceful and we've all got our own unique skills. We were going to kill someone. Why aren't you on the list?
Who, Neil? I agree. Let's kill Neil.
It'd be top. It'd be like the leader of this project.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, where he's not going to name me in that. It's very strange. And Arwen's smart, very manipulative. So I think it's to garner sympathy and like, listen, mate, you're losing your freaking mind. You need to get back on Flat Earth Debate and everything is okay. Just come back and let's go forward from here. That's what I'm thinking he's out to try and do.
We would have totally hired in someone from Europe, like George, to do the job for us.
Whatever. Like George. George who?
Georgie.
George in Discord.
George in Discord?
Georgie.
And Nathan is just
Me?
The illness must be affecting his ability.
They're talking about you, like you're a hireable assassin, George. I don't understand at all, but that's what they're saying. I hope you take offence, George. I really do.
George is Italian, is he not?
No, Portuguese.
That's good enough. Yeah, you're hired.
Same thing.
Brian, that's funny.
Guess who's back? The coronavirus is back.
Sorry, George?
The coronavirus is back. He's back in the chat.
Why,
Mister, why made you do this?
Didn't we ban him for being a disingenuous liar?
Yeah. Well, how the hell did he get back?
Yeah, the line's straight. No, it's curved. No, it's
It
straight.
might be just on the chat, on the text chat.
I thought he was banned from everything.
Got a new landowner, Righteous. I don't think he was banned when Righteous was here, was he?
Oh, I see.
Well, he was. I let him back. We decided to let him back.
There you go.
There
That's
was a
fine.
vote, and he was reinstated.
See what I mean? Not my server. I wasn't
You
even
guys really like to argue then, huh? You ain't happy with ending the argument. This
No.
is the proof.
No, he's running a server. He's not looking at it from that point of view. I mean, I'm sure Righteous can and does look at it from that point of view, but he's looking at it from a server operation standpoint, aren't you, Righteous?
Yeah.
And
So,
and Righteous has pity on people. He's got a little bit of a Betty in him.
oh, say no more.
Well, he asked to come back, and I asked around my other mods what they thought about it, and people voted on it, and he got through. So he's good to go.
Is he in the chat, in the VC?
No, he's not in the VC.
Just chat
He's just in the
skanking.
text chat.
Just chat skanking immediately.
Well,
Yeah,
he knows
like,
that, you know, he knows that he was show banned before, so he said he's just going to stay out of it for now. So he's just being, I guess you could say, respectful in that sense, right?
Protothad's all over your server. In text chat. Friggin' bozo.
I don't even entertain the
He
text chat.
It doesn't
Yeah.
type that much, like since he's come back. I haven't. Well, at least I haven't seen him type too much, or I'm not aware of it. Maybe I shouldn't comment. I'm not too aware of it.
I mean, all that's going to happen if Akumu Virus does join the show is we're going to start where we left off. Is the line to the horizon straight? That's going to be the first question he gets asked.
Yeah, line of sight.
Well, that's not going to work out very well, is it? So he's got two
Not
choices.
now,
At
not
that
ever.
point, either he has two choices. Relinquish his glow birth faith, or be the same disingenuous liar he was when he got banned. So his time on the live show will probably be very short-lived, because he'll just be put in the exact same corner he was put in when he started lying. And what's he going to do? Change his position? Knowing full well that I'm going to edit his last position with his new position, unless, of course, he decides to relinquish his glow birth faith, which is to say, welcome to Flat Earth, so you're a Flat Earther now. He's only got two choices. Be the disingenuous scumbag liar he was when he got banned, or become a Flat Earther. I highly doubt he's going to become a Flat Earther, so he's probably just going to get banned for being a disingenuous liar again, isn't he? Because he's got to lie to be a baller. He will lie. He does lie. That's what they do. They all do it. Now, unfortunately for Virus, that meant that when I reached the point that these people are overtly lying to us and laughing in our face as they do so, like Virus did, they just get banned. Now I just say, get rid of them. Come back tomorrow. Like with Bacon. Yeah, get lost. Come back tomorrow, you disingenuous scumbag liar. Calculation for azimuth angle. But they all are. They're all disingenuous scumbag liars. You've got to lie to be a ball believer. To yourself, to your audience, to us. And I'm tired of it.
Well, I told you about my experience in the past 24 hours. They all, in unison, not all of them, but a good few of them together, in unison, tried to fob me off with a load of mathematics that couldn't work. But that's what they are all supporting each other, putting up comments, fresh comments and stuff saying, now that blah blah has figured it all out, that's all proven. Do you know what I mean? Yet none of them are answering the main question I was asking them. Well, if it's figured out, then explain this. None of them will address it. Do you know what I mean? Why? Why are they all deciding to be dishonest in unison? Because they know they can get away with it. Simple as, isn't it? There's no one there to reprimand them or to address them, you know? If there was
100% correct.
If Matthew Learns or something came in and saw what they were trying to do, right, as a mathematician, if he had any honesty within him, he'd have to go, no, this is wrong. You know, so that's what they need. They need someone who's an authority on maths to say, especially if there's someone on their own side, to say, no, this is wrong. You know, I know what's wrong with it, but they don't care what I know. It's what they can give an audience the impression of.
Brian, could it be that they're just not seeing it and they really feel that they're in a winning position?
Well, Neil,
Could it just be Dunning-Kruger?
Well, there's a certain amount of arrogance there, right? Where there's no way I could be right because I'm a flat earther kind of thing. But there's also another thing, right? 3 weeks ago or more, I put out a diagram, and I've spoke about this in the past couple of weeks, couple of diagrams on a video to do with spherical trigonometry. And I was just showing real trigonometry and what could be done with it. And one of the diagrams showed an angle from a boat horizontally measured with a sextant to two known coastal landmarks where there was a known distance between them, right? Straight line distance. And they all claimed that this was impossible and couldn't be done. You can't just use one side length and one angle. And I said, it can be done. And they're like, no, it can't be done. I said, you don't need more than one angle and one side length. You don't, right? Because what you do is you split them in two. You split the angle in two, so you make two right angle triangles. Then you end up with, for both angles, you end up with two angles and one side length. That's all you need. And for a right angle triangle, all you need is one side length and one angle, right? So the point is that they all went for weeks telling me that can't happen. And even after I told them it can, it's come from an official source. This is how they do it. They didn't even see the second diagram. They're all focusing on the first diagram. And they weren't realizing. Then when they start focusing on the second diagram, they're still trying to claim it couldn't happen. I did it. I literally did the maths. And then they start claiming I didn't do the maths. And I did it again. And it got to the point where I got one of them after 3 weeks to actually do the maths himself. And then he wouldn't even admit that he was saying that it couldn't be done in the first place. So I blocked him off my channel after him being there for years. Why?
Who was that?
Why did they spend 3 weeks? Sorry?
Who was that?
Oh, this guy William, Just William is his YouTube name. The guy had more comments on my channel than anyone else. He'd be commenting on a video I could have up there from 2 years ago, and he's putting 10 comments in it today. Tomorrow he's putting 20 comments on. So you know what I mean? He's just non-stop, what's the behavior, Nathan? Where someone is like non-stop focused too much on
obsessive
something.
compulsive.
Yes, I couldn't think of obsessive behavior, real obsessive behavior. And after 3 weeks of him, and there are loads of others, right, saying that they all called me a liar. They were calling me a liar and said it couldn't work. And I proved to them all it could work. I think one of them ever came back and said, you were right. I think one of them said, but one of them said something to me, but even that person wasn't one of the people calling me a liar and saying it couldn't work. None of the people that were saying I was a liar and saying it couldn't work, not one of them came back and said, oh, I was wrong. You know what I mean? You were right. Not one of them. Why?
Pride.
You can't admit that we're ever right.
Yeah, pride.
Right. Yeah. And that's not a new, like I've been through, and I'm sure you've all have been through this with them many, many times. That's just the latest 2 examples.
Not to say about pride.
Comes before a fall.
Correct.
Well, they have a big fall, bigger than Humpty Dumpty's fall. They don't realize it, that they fell off the wall again, but there's no putting it back together. The paper mache globe has been shattered.
Well, I'll tell you another one, right? I put out this other post that wasn't related to any of that. I just, because I can't make videos at the moment. My computer's broken. So I'm just doing community posts. And the other community post was about what amount of arc length of a circle, just for anyone who's interested, just an interesting thing, geometric thing, the exact amount of arc length of a circle that will always equal the radius of it. It's like a universal radius, right? A way of you'll always get the radius of the circle, basically by doing this, right? And I put in the word degree instead of degrees of minutes, or minutes of degree, or instead of just minutes. So I had to take the post down and redo the post because I didn't do the words right. But all they were focusing on was the words. And kept on saying you got everything wrong, you effed up, you're a clown, all this kind of stuff, just because I put the wrong word in. Then I brought back out the same thing, just without them words, just without the words put in the wrong places. I was preoccupied when I was making it. It's just a community post. You start getting one spelling, a letter wrong, spelled in one word in a sentence, spelled wrong. It's basically the same as that, and that's all they can focus on. This thing. So when I bring out I did the post, redid the post this morning, put it back out, and now they're all trying to fight with me about something that they're trying to say I'm one. What is it? I'm 1 hour minute out or something like that when I'm not, and I can have two different ways to prove it. So now things have gone on from that where now I'm asking them to show me how I got the radius and the circumference of a circle, and I didn't use pi. How did I do it? Right? So I'm wrong, I'm stupid, everything else, when all I did was just put the wrong word in the wrong place. And I took the post down and redid it. And then they had nothing, so trying to jump on how precise my maths were. And my maths are perfect. And, I'm not saying I'm a mathematician, I'm just saying for what I put out there, there's no problem with it. It's perfect. It can't be messed with. Everything is there, and I have two ways to prove it. But all they can focus on is, when they didn't have the word to focus on, they were trying to pick on that. It's like, why don't you just, why do you feel the need to attack this so hard? Why does it matter to you? Do you know what I mean? This is not even an attack on the globe. It's not even a flat globe. It's just a geometric thing. It doesn't mean anything. It's just because a flat earther is doing it. That's the problem.
Exactly. Look when Nathan made a mistake on math or something. Don't even know which one it was, but they constantly bring it up that he doesn't know how to do something. What is that again?
Kilometers, meters.
Yeah. They still talk about that. What does that tell you?
Yeah, you can't make one mistake with them because they try to hang on to it. And what I did immediately when I realized that it was pointed out to me that I had the word degree in when I should have the word minutes in, I went grass grand. I just deleted the post and put out a thing saying my previous post had the wrong word in it, so I'm bringing out another one, and I did. And then I was just totally honest about it. There's no point. What's the point in pretending it's right when it's not? It wasn't. I had the wrong word in the wrong place, and that's all I had to do was just. I did what I was supposed to do: take it away, bring it back, correct it, a corrected version, and then they had nothing to attack me on. They tried to attack me on my accuracy, and I proved they can't disprove my accuracy. Like, why did you just let it? Why do you care? Why are you so concerned about this? I'll give you another example. A couple of years ago, I brought a video on the number 9, on numerology and the number 9, and the amount of things that only just a few examples of where the number 9 comes into play with NASA and different things. So there's a little bit of numerology and conspiracy. I never bring out those videos, but I did that time. The amount of ballers that were in there, you can go in and see the video, attacking me. Like, why do you care? Why do you care about this? This has nothing to do with anything that you should care about. Yet you're in here in a rage. I was like, 20, 30 ballers in a rage in the comments. About what? Why are you in a rage about this? And one fella did his best to disprove me and ended up proving me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what's it? Why all this energy? Just why do you care? There's other people making numerology videos out there. Okay, may not be as specific as mine, but out in the world of internet and YouTube, there's plenty of numerology videos out there. But they're not all ganging up on that person trying to disprove them.
You're a flatty? Because you're a flatty?
Yeah, that's it. How many times, this is my question to all of you, how many times have you completely disproven their claims? Could be something within the arena or some nuance that came up as part of it, and you've disproven one of the ballers. How many times have you done this and they've just gone silent? They didn't say, you're right, or I was wrong there. They just disappeared.
It happened today.
It seems to have... Well,
it happened today, didn't it? The guy who came in. That happened today.
I didn't hear that. I wasn't there for the pre-show. So it happened in the pre-show, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No admittance, no concession. just run off.
Well, what he did was he said, I'm not making the claim. So at the point that the globe claim failed, he said, I'm not making that claim. That'd be Earth curve. Like, no, it's an Earth claim for a sphere Earth. But the moment it fails, he'll tell us he's not making the claim. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my son does. The same thing. I never said that.
Like, we give a crap what you say. It's set in stone for your sphere belief. It's a religion. It's got a rhetoric, and it's set in stone. But the moment it fails,
But
they'll
if
more
it
than
did-
happily relinquish it.
But if it did prove it, I guarantee they'd be hanging on to that.
Well, they were. They were hanging on to
funny-
Earth curve
sorry.
while they thought it proved sphericity, right up until 2020.
That's right. You're right. They were hanging on to that until they couldn't anymore. Then they said, well, we don't say that.
Yeah,
I never said that.
Yeah, like the guy today. Oh, well, it's a straw man to say that Earth will have a sphere edge at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's a straw man. Like, so you're telling us that your claim of Earth curve, the maths laid down in your Earth curve maths, is a straw man. Okay, welcome to Flat Earth. I should probably trim both of those.
Yeah, they'll have to concede it's measured flat.
Yeah, and we should be putting this in people's faces more. We've gone through the
No,
yeah,
archaeology
it's
of
not measured
refining the
flat.
argument now. We know where it's got flaws and where it hasn't, where its strengths and weaknesses lie. So now we should start bashing over their head, bashing out globe-believing opponents over the head with it. Same as we
Yeah,
did
but
with
with the blacks,
Yeah,
with the black swan,
Just listen.
once. Go ahead.
Oh, George.
Just listen to the claim. Just listen to the claim, and then ask them to describe the claim. You're going to use a flat plane, definitely.
What I liked is as I joined the Discord server this morning, at least half a dozen people knew this argument inside out and back to the front and were absolutely hammering Ed Master over it.
Yeah, Reggie was on him. They were all on him. You're right.
Yeah, makes me very proud. Not only that, they could see the obfuscation tactics and the rumpusing and the hot micing that he's doing in the middle of it all. And they're like, oh, I'm not standing for any of this.
Yeah, Reggie was like, we asked you a direct question.
Yeah. Tenacious lot that the Discord server have become. Fantastic.
How bored of it are they? Like, how much of it did they hear? Because like we had our fill of that over the years, but we don't hear it as much lately or these days as we once would have. But they're hearing it all the time, the same nonsense, the same tactics being rehashed day after day. They're getting this all the time because they're on Discord, and that's where the ballers are these days. Years ago, they used to be on here on YouTube. Now they're hanging in on Discord. So they're getting all that nonsense on Discord.
Hey, D.
What's up, Nathan? What's going on?
We had a rendition of your concerns about Arwin's claims that we're threatening his life.
Yes, it really was troubling and kind of disgruntled me a little bit. You know, like it was almost like it was like a polarity of the character and the guys I know on the panel. And I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, maybe they're effing with you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're just trying to, antagonize and exacerbate your already paranoid and kind of mental frustrated anxiety state. He was like, no, I really heard him tell me, he was very convinced, so I said, I don't think it is what you think it is, but, I'll ask about it. And that's why I wrote to Neil in more of a facetious way, like, like, come on, tell me this is not true. But, he even said he didn't know what Brian looked like. He went all into, Adam and Brian was talking to him in private and really made him feel like he wasn't safe. And he said, I don't even know what Brian looks like. You know, Brian hides his identity. I said, what are you talking about? He was on a freaking 2-hour video against Witsit just like 6 months ago. And that's when we were all talking about, you know, what he looked like. We called him Wolfman, you know. Nathan said he was a handsome guy and all that, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It was, I could tell his state of mind wasn't right. He didn't even
Yeah, I
remember.
remember all that.
How did the conversation start? He called you or you called him?
I can't recall, but I know he saw that I was on the panel talking or either listening on either the live on Monday, and then he texted me through the Skype, and then I responded, and he said, "Can you talk?" So I don't know if I called him or he called me. And he was like just like really disgruntled, like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Dan. D, this is I thought you would, you know, like, what are you talking about?" I said, "You know, I'm not on the show that much because of my work schedule." He said, "No, but I'm just saying, you know, not even you, even Chocolate. I'm wondering, you know, I'm hoping that they're okay because, you know." And then he started going into how he felt threatened and how he's, you know, he's paranoid that somebody's going to get him, and, you know, and then started accusing Adam and Brian of not even implying but actually direct blatant threats. And and QE already said, when I find you, I'm going to do this and that to you. I'm like, come on, bro.
Did he
Really?
say, hold on, did he say he heard that being said?
I said it again.
Did he say he actually heard those words being said?
From the horse's mouth, from Brian's mouth, from Adam's mouth, from QE's mouth, not rumor from someone else, directly while he was on the chat talking through the not through the Discord, probably through the G Plus.
So he's
It was one
hearing
of those
people say
after
things
shows.
that they don't say, which is almost schizophrenic.
I don't know if he's saying what they don't say. I don't know if he's just, I don't know, and I don't know what it is. I can't even. It's inexplicable for me.
He's looking for
Adam,
sympathy.
Me and Adam said nothing of the sort.
But see, Brian, you don't have to explain, because that Adam and Brian, I know that's the most absurd, profound, ridiculous accusation I can ever accept. But I can understand why it's coming from him, because he feels like he's being attacked at all angles, which is being reciprocated because maybe the offensive that he's done, he's receiving that in some type of supernatural way or some type of psychological way. I don't know.
What's wrong with Arwen is he likes attention. And it's all about him, and he's very selfish, and everything is all based around him and his things and him. And this is more stuff about him and his things, and not about him in the right way. Whereas like him and his behavior, and how he shouldn't be behaving like that with people, the way he's been behaving.
And that's I'm supposed to talk to him later on today, but you know, it's like there's nothing really else to talk about except I'm okay, Aaron. I'm safe. Chocolate returned. He's safe. You know, there's nobody being disappeared by the FED panel. Stop saying that, and I hope you haven't just said that to me. I hope you've only said that to me in confidentiality. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're even talking about that on your show or anybody else, that's not cool. And I hope you're listening. It's not cool.
Is he intimating that we're going around unaliving people connected to the FED?
He's saying in private, when y'all get him by himself, this is what y'all have said to him.
Nobody's getting him by himself. Who has spoken? Hold on, just let's address that. Who has spoken to Arwen privately in the last 3 weeks?
I don't know.
Me and Adam.
He claims
me and Adam at the when the day Arwen came on, he stayed on the G Plus with everyone else when the show finished and the after show finished. And we spoke to him on the show, and me and Adam then spoke. We were the last two on the G Plus with him. We only spent a couple of minutes talking to him. Maybe Neil was there as well. I'm not sure. We only spent a couple of minutes talking to him. Yeah, but there was no anything like Adam was. You could hear Adam was tired. There was no aggression. It was just like, Arwen, you can't be carrying on like that. You know, that was it. Just like you can't be doing that and expect people to just accept it. You know, basically very much the same as what was said to him on the show earlier in the day. Like, was no. That's like when it's like he called that privately. That was just when the whole show was over. There was no one contacting him that I'm aware of privately. I didn't. I don't think
Well,
Adam did. So.
well, not actually in private, but he just said somebody reached out to him. He just said when he was alone on the G Plus with you and Adam, or sometime on an after show or after show, Huey, he accused Huey as well. And I don't even not even insinuated, but literally, I said, maybe you just took it the wrong way. He said, no, D. I know what I heard. Then he said something about he had a amnesia, and try to put it like in denial, like he tried to just basically have cognitive dissonance on it, but it keeps coming back to him. He can't believe that this happened. And he's, it's getting worse and worse. And he said when he didn't see me for a while, which I don't know how he would expect me to be on the show every day because I'm not. He said when he act like, oh, you're okay. And I'm like, I don't know. It's like, just hit me from
You
different angles.
spoke to him. Hold on. If you spoke to him freaking 3 weeks ago, you were on his show. What the hell is he talking about? You see, I've been watching every show. Yeah, when you called in his show.
Yep.
That was 3 weeks ago. All of a sudden you vanished? This is all a ploy for freaking sympathy.
Well, but you know what? Nathan made a good point, or whoever said it. From what I'm hearing, audibly, he's the one throwing the threats. I hope you die. I hope you crush your head. Just different stupid things that he's saying that's more offensive to the point where it's almost like a projection he's doing.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I'm
what I
saying?
said.
It's like he says those words to people, maybe not directly, but he says it to the. He says it. I ain't gonna say this because you're gonna yell at me. He puts it out there to the universe, to the ether, whatever they call it. He puts it out there, the audience, for people to hear it, whether it be videotape, and it's just amazing. And then he acts like he's the victim.
Except Nathan, he outright said, "I want to crush your skull."
Right, you know what I'm saying?
It's
Things
the
like that.
It's the Hillary Clinton defense, isn't it? Basically, accuse your opponent of the very things you're doing.
Exactly.
Oh shoot, that's right. That's exactly it.
Yep. It's sad, man.
Hey, Righteous.
And that's the point. That's what he wants to hear. That it's sad.
Hold on, it sounded like there's going to be a very well-earned subject change. Just 1 second, Neil. 1 second.
Oh,
go ahead, Lumpy.
It wouldn't be a subject change.
Oh,
it wouldn't
fine.
be a subject change. The other day, Arwen popped in and asked for prayer because gangsters were going to kill him. But it seemed to me to be more about acknowledging that maybe. Yeah, acknowledging that maybe if you were to come to the Bible chat, that it seemed to me it's similar to what's going on there, more sympathy plea. And yeah. Do you remember that, Righteous?
I'm not sure what's going on right now.
No, do you remember when Arwen popped into like the Bible chat about, I don't know, a little while back and asked for prayer because gangsters were coming after him? Do you remember this?
It was in regards to that. Yes, it's just us generally for prayer.
Okay. Anyway, so I
At
just
least I don't recall that other part.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to mention it because
he did mention something like that to me about
what.
But Arn, if you're listening, it's not about me double crossing you, going behind your back. I'm putting it out there. We're supposed to be family. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be brethren. We have our own group, our own panel. We're supposed to be respectful, and have some type of loyalty, and respect for one another. And we gotta get through this, but we can't get through this if you're trying to. I'm not gonna say you're trying to. To me,
he's got to get through it. D.
Yeah,
has nothing to do with us. This is something he's got to get through.
Right.
And he's putting us in it like we're the bad guys.
Right.
Tired of this crap.
Right.
Arwen's life is not very exciting. His life, basically, his whole life is online. So I don't know if he has too many friends out in the real world. So the thing about it is that he has to make it more exciting in his own head, kind of like Walter Mitty, make it exciting more than it really is. If your life is that exciting, you don't even have time to tell people about it. You're not going to.
Well, I'm convinced that he doesn't know me well enough to know that if somebody comes to me with something that somebody else said, he say, she say, I'm not siding with anybody. I'm going to confront the person who's being accused, and hopefully that person that I'm asking, did this happen or did you say this? I can believe that they respect me enough and don't have to feel like I'm judging them to tell me the truth about it. Because if you did say it or if you did do it, hey, all right, cool. He wasn't lying. All right, that's for y'all to sort out, not for me to sort out. I didn't even have to hear it. You know what I'm saying? But it does bother me that you guys have been going through this for the longest. And first it became, just a little petty old blah, 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 R&B and R&, wham, 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 whatever. You guys yelling at me. So he wants people to think that he shouldn't be treated a certain way because he's been with y'all for so long, yada, yada, yada. I get that. So, but now it's getting to the point when he starts saying things what he said to me about the threat and stuff like that. That's kind of over the line to me.
So why didn't he call me? Why didn't he call me? Why did he call you? Why didn't he call it?
Because he doesn't have an indifference or a problem with me. He has a problem with you. Y'all got a problem. He feels you don't like him or whatever reason. I don't want to get into the. I don't care how you feel, whatever. He just thinks that you're his enemy, and he thinks that he can lean on me. Like I'm the only one on the panel he can talk to. So that's probably why he called me.
Maybe Neil is his enemy after he told Neil, you're kind of annoying. When Neil was trying to be nice to him.
He became public enemy. I think I left right after that. I said, you telling me? I've been watching your shows and keeping up with you to see what your state of mind is. You're going to call that annoying? I'm out.
But you know what though? I look at it like this. Had I been in a weaker mental state, or had I been under the influence or whatever, what he was saying to me could make anybody that doesn't have any sanity really be paranoid and be like, wow, and start actually judging you guys in a totally dark. I mean, this was like very, very, very profound. It really bothered me to the point where if I didn't know y'all any better, like I said to Neil in that text, if I didn't know y'all any better, I would be like, yo, I ain't going back there no more. And I'm taking my thing down, and I'm gonna delete the app. One of them things, they can't find me. They're not gonna get me.
Well, we thank God that didn't happen.
Shut up.
What crazy shit have we done?
Funny, I'm not hearing anything from QE.
Well, I have a little different take on the whole situation, although I've been on the outside of it. But it's more personal with you guys, so I can't speak for you guys. I can only speak in general, and it might be out of line. Do you want to know what I think?
Yeah, well, yes.
Adam says, nah. No, like I said, it's more personal because a lot of stuff went down. I wasn't here. And a lot of you guys had more personal relationship with Arwen, a couple of you guys, specifically Adam. And I know he's gotten into it with Anthony through the years and all that stuff. And Arwen's Arwen. I mean, you have to take people for where they're at. And my take is, I'd try to bring him back into the fold. That's just my take, but he might have stepped over some bounds with people. Personally on the in FED. So like I said, I can't speak for them and I don't want to, insult them. But I would say try to bring him back into the fold. I got a little empathy towards him for some reason.
Nobody's kicked him out of the fold, though. That's the whole thing. He can come back.
That's my take. You want to hear what I thought? That's what I thought.
No, I think what you're saying is the right thing, but the problem is that how many is that he's doing things that is making it impossible for him to come back. If you understand, it's like the only way for him to come back is for him to just come back in and everyone pretend nothing happened. You know, I can go along with that, but it's only a matter of time before he does something that's going to remind everyone that something did happen again. That's the.
I didn't say to forget. I didn't say to forget those things. You know, go ahead. Let's go deal with them offline, right? But attempt to bring them back in.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd rather he was able to be here. I'd rather he was here. I would rather that. I'm okay with that. It's just that he keeps on doing the wrong thing. And it's like, you know what it is? You can't control someone else. That's the problem. You can't control what he's going to do. So I'm in agreement with what you're saying. I think it's the wisest move and the best thing to do. But the problem is that he'll possibly make it not possible. You know what I mean?
So basically, he's not getting $500, but to come back on, he needs to apologize or admit that what he did was wrong, and he has
Oh, the heck with that! I'm sorry. You need to
okay,
say
well, he has to
stuff.
refrain. He has to refrain from saying and doing the things that Brian is saying he does.
We need to get him alone and just not online. You know, not broadcasting. Just with us guys. Arwen's been part of this for a long time.
I agree.
Exactly, man. He's family, bro.
Yeah.
So set that up. Get him on the phone without anything being on. Just us. And I agree.
All right, next time I let a baller in, I'm gonna remember that QE had sympathy too. So I'm gonna remember that QE.
I do have my failings, but I'm not without empathy or compassion.
Can you say that in a deep Southern accent?
Say again?
Can you say that in a deep South accent?
No, I can't.
Is that a South Wales accent?
Guys know it deep down anyway. You guys are all good guys. If you weren't, I wouldn't be hanging around with you.
Exactly. That's the point. I mean, it was almost like this, if I didn't know y'all any better, or didn't have my own perspective about you guys, as long as I've known you guys, even though we've never shook hands or seen each other physically, maybe some of you have, still, you could still tell. And what he was telling me, I was trying to empathize with him. Like, yeah, I get, but I was like, get the fuck out of here. Impossible. I don't accept it.
Listen,
Birds of a feather flock together. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
It all
take that
comes
back.
down. Shut up.
I
All
take that
comes
back.
down. All comes
No,
down to sincerity. You know,
I
if
take that back.
somebody
I just think QE would probably do something. No, let me stop.
if somebody's sincere, right, then you know it. It's in your gut. So that's all I could ask. Just be sincere. Go on, D Rose.
That was a
Make some
good-
more stuff up.
That was a good point, what you said, QE. But yeah. No, what you said. I mean, you could definitely tell your intuitiveness should be able to pick out, and you could tell, and the consistency when people are consistently the same way, even when they're disgruntled or upset, which everybody on here has been upset, and it comes down to the same common denominator of respect, and that willing to apologize and swallow the pride, then you know pretty much character. I'm not saying there's anybody not capable of being a violent person, but nobody on here can ever do that. I can be dumb faithfully to understand I can believe nobody could be able to do the things that he claims that they said they wanted to do to him. It's impossible.
No.
Are you trying to get your 10,000 words out or something, D Rose?
It's been a while, man. I ain't been on here in a while. I'm gonna get my words in there. Definitely, yeah.
10,000. He ain't been around for a while. He's going for 30,000.
Exactly.
I had no issue with anything you said, D. They're just being nasty to you for no reason.
Yeah, I know. But I'm gonna have to bounce because lunch break is over. We're gonna get 30 minutes. So good chat with you guys.
Get back to picking up
those talk to somebody.
How dare you? Why are you saying that?
Picking up the cats.
Yeah, but Nathan, try to extend it to 12 o'clock, once in a while, so I can catch you guys.
Nathan's not feeling well recently. He can't be.
Really?
He's lucky he stayed this long.
I appreciate that. All right.
I am going to round
Well,
up.
get
so
well, bro.
My
Well,
paracetamol's running
you sound
out.
stuffy.
It only lasts 2 hours. And then you can't take any more for 4. So you just get 2 hours of the headache when you take paracetamol.
Yeah.
Useless.
I get you. All right, fellas.
When you take what?
Paracetamol.
Acetaminophen or Tylenol.
Oh, Tylenol. I thought you said Thorazine.
Paracetamol. Anyway, the point
You
is,
would have heard him, Neil, if he showed up when he was talking.
it bought me a couple of hours to get today's show under my belt, so I'm happy that it's worked that long. But I will have to round out soon.
Nathan, before you go, can I have just like 1 second word with you?
During the show or after the show?
After the show, just stay in Discord.
With that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams. Hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!